Chapter 2294. Chapter 2294. Chapter 2294. Chapter 2294. Chapter 2294. Planting a Small World. When Lu Ming placed the path understanding ancient tree on the five-colored soil, a shocking scene happened. The roots of the path understanding ancient tree grew wildly and burrowed into the five-colored soil. The roots were growing too fast. Some of them burrowed into the soil while others grew outside. They followed the five-colored soil and wrapped it up. At this moment, the path understanding ancient tree started to grow crazily. Its leaves stretched out, and its branches grew longer and thicker. The entire path understanding ancient tree was growing at an extremely fast speed. The path understanding ancient tree was 50 meters tall. Soon, it grew to 60 meters, 65 meters, 70 meters. Lu Ming was overjoyed. It was indeed a sacred land. The effect of nurturing plants was amazing. Lu Ming had cultivated the path understanding ancient tree for decades and spent a lot of resources to grow it to 50 meters tall. However, it had grown to nearly 50 meters in just a short while. The roots were growing crazily, as if they were going to wrap up all the five-colored soil. After a while, the height of the path understanding ancient tree had grown to an astonishing height of 100 meters. At this moment, there was a flash of light in the distance. An expert had arrived. Collect! Lu Ming hugged the path understanding ancient tree and used the small world's power to envelop the path understanding ancient tree. Boom! 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 The path understanding ancient tree was pulled up, and it headed toward Lu Ming's small world. The roots were like countless claws, grabbing onto the five-colored soil and moving towards the small world. Boom! 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 About 1/10 of the five-colored soil on the entire Thousand-Spirit Mountain was taken by the path understanding ancient tree into Lu Ming's small world. There was an unknown amount of five-colored soil. There was too much of it. If they were to dig slowly, they did not know how long it would take. I've earned it this time. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He did not know how many herbs he could cultivate with so much five-colored soil. Furthermore, the path understanding ancient tree did not need to purchase any spiritual liquid to water it anymore. With so much five-colored soil, it would be enough. Its growth speed would definitely be shocking. Human die. From afar, a loud roar could be heard. Some alien races were rushing towards them. Lu Ming used his six-feathered wings and left the place in a flash. Not long after, Lu Ming shook off the alien races and entered Wanling Mountain. He picked spiritual herbs, sacred herbs, and emperor's herbs madly. They had agreed that they would leave this place in 2 hours and meet up at the corresponding location. Lu Ming continued to harvest and harvested at least thousands of medicinal herbs of various grades. At this moment, he ran into Ren Chan and the others, who were being chased by a few alien races. Lu Ming took out the fallen star bow and killed them. Then they continued to harvest the herbs. Soon 2 hours were almost up. They could only give up and rush out of Wanling Mountain. With Ren Chan's senses, they only encountered a wave of alien races along the way, but they avoided them. They flew all the way and soon came to a hidden mountain pass. This was the place they had agreed to meet up at. However, they were the first to arrive, and the others had not yet arrived. I wonder how the others are doing? Ren Chan was a little worried. Not long after, a group of 4 people arrived. However, all of them were injured to varying degrees. As soon as they arrived, they began to circulate their internal energy to heal their injuries. Not long after, more and more people came. Half an hour later, only about 30 people arrived. When they had arrived, there had been more than 50 people. But now only about 30 people had returned. This made everyone's expression turn ugly. Most of the people who didn't come were already dead. Buzz! And MBSB whoosh! The void moved and 5 figures appeared. They were the Doyens and the other 4 great emperors. Let's go back, the elder instructed. Grand Elder, where are the others? Should we wait a little longer? Someone said. No need to wait, let's go. The Doyen sighed. The others all revealed a trace of grief. From what the Grand Elder meant, the others were most likely dead. They were helpless. Now that the alien tribes had occupied the entire Myriad Forest Heavenly region, they were like turtles in a jar, hiding all day and facing danger at any time. They didn't know when they would fall into the hands of the alien tribes. It would be great if he could go to the Tai Ching heaven. Some people sighed. The news of the attack on Thousand Spirit Mountain spread quickly. The alien races in the Thousand Spirit realm were shocked, and they were hunting for Lu Ming and the rest everywhere. Along the way, they were careful and avoided the alien races with the help of Ren Chan's senses. They returned to the small world after more than 10 days. After returning to the small world, they would hand over the spirit herbs and 5-colored soil they picked to the elders of the small world for them to distribute. Lu Ming also handed in some. However, Lu Ming only handed over a little bit of the 5-colored soil. He handed over 80% of the spiritual herbs, sacred herbs, emperor's medicine, and the rest. He kept a few hundred for himself and planned to plant them in the small world. Brother Lu Ming, you can keep your spirit herbs and sacred herbs for yourself. One of the elders smiled. After all, Lu Ming was not from this small world. They were already very grateful that he went on an adventure with them. It's fine. I don't have much use for these spiritual herbs and sacred medicines. Elder, one want to collect some spiritual herb seeds or plant seeds. Lu Ming smiled. All right, I'll send it to you in 2 days, the elder said. After that, Lu Ming returned to his residence. As soon as he entered, a body condensed in his small world with a single thought. This was not Lu Ming's actual body, but a body condensed from the power of the soul. In Lu Ming's own small world, he was a god who could control everything. This was because he was in control of the laws in this small world. When the power of the soul was condensed in his own small world, it was no different from a physical body. Lu Ming took a step forward and came to a plain. The plain was vast, and the path understanding ancient tree was rooted here. Under its roots was colorless soil. In a dozen days, the path understanding ancient tree had grown a lot taller. Of course, it did not grow as fast as when he had first obtained the 5-colored soil. It had already stabilized. However, the height of the path understanding ancient tree had still reached 200 meters. The leaf was crystal clear and resplendent, and the aura of the great Tao lingered around it. It was much faster to comprehend the Tao here than outside. Lu Ming dug out some colorless congealed soil from under the path understanding ancient tree and placed it in other places. Then, he planted the remaining hundreds of sacred and spiritual herbs everywhere. A newly formed small world had no living beings or vegetation, and it needed to be added by itself. At the Great Emperor realm, one could create living beings, but that would take a long time. Adding on one's own was the fastest. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. 3 days later, the founding elders sent people to deliver all kinds of spirit herbs and plant seeds. Lu Ming scattered these seeds all over the small world. After some time, these seeds would take root and sprout. The small world would then be full of vitality. Next, Lu Ming began to cultivate. Chapter 2295. Chapter 2295. Chapter 2294. Chapter 2295. Chapter 2290 for the alien races. Are here cultivation knew no time, and time flew by quickly. Lu Ming cultivated in this small world. Sometimes he would spar with Ren Chan. Sometimes he would go out with them to obtain resources. Very quickly 2 years had passed. In the first year, Lu Ming, Ren Chan, and the rest went out often. In the second year, they rarely went out. In the second year, the number of alien races in 10,000 spirit heavenly region had increased again, and there were many more masters. Lu Ming guessed that the alien races had stopped attacking the Tai Ching heaven and had retreated. Moreover, during this time, there were many more foreign races in the land of dusk. In the entire 10,000 spirit heavenly domain, only the land of dusk hadn't been conquered yet. Obviously, the alien races were very curious about this area and had sent a large number of masters to conquer it. During this period of time, the foreign races had been attacking the land of dusk. The entire land of dusk was rumbling. The foreign races were bombarding the ground and destroying the structure of the earth. They wanted to destroy the field energy here. After paying a price, the structure of the land of dusk had indeed been destroyed by the foreign races, and a safe path had been forcibly opened up. The people in the small world were also paying close attention and sending people to inquire about the situation outside. This was because it concerned their survival and safety. If the land of dusk was completely conquered by the foreign races, their small world would probably be found by the foreign races as well. Not long after, a shocking piece of news came. The alien races fought deep into the land of dusk, but they were attacked by a terrifying force. In the depths of the land of dusk, a terrifying creature had awakened and was attacking the alien races. A terrifying battle had begun. That day, a thunderous roar came from the depths of the land of dusk, as if a giant beast had awakened. In that battle, the alien race suffered a great loss. A large number of powerhouses died inside. It was said that a heavenly Emperor realm powerhouse was killed and fell inside. The alien race retreated from the depths of the land of dusk in defeat. Ren Chan, Lu Ming, and the rest were also extremely shocked when they heard that. What exactly was in the depths of the land of dusk? Even a heavenly emperor had fallen in there. It was too shocking. I'm still not strong enough. One need to continue increasing my combat strength. Lu Ming muttered. He condensed his body with his soul and entered his own small world. He went to the path understanding ancient tree to comprehend the laws. One did not need a physical body to comprehend the laws. One's soul could still comprehend them. Right now, his main focus was to comprehend the life law. In the past 2 years, he had only broken through to the 3rd level in one of his artifact Dao laws. He had also refined all the remaining chaos gems and raised his cultivation to the peak of a 4-star true emperor. As for the laws of life, he was also on the verge of breaking through. This was because he was able to comprehend the indestructible ancient scroll, the life laws, and the laws of craftsmanship faster than the other laws. The cultivation this time went very smoothly. His life law had already reached the limit of a breakthrough. A few days later, Lu Ming successfully broke through, and his life law broke through to the 3rd level. In this way, Lu Ming's 3 ultimate maxims had all reached the 3rd realm. In addition, the law of devouring, the law of craftsmanship, and the law of array Dao were all at the 3rd realm. Only the laws of alchemy, the laws of extremity, and the laws of penetration were still at the 2nd realm. In addition to Lu Ming's peak 4-star true emperor cultivation base, his current combat strength had already reached the limit of a rank 17 true emperor. As long as he had one more law, or his cultivation broke through to become a 5-star true emperor, his battle prowess would reach level 18 true emperor. The fighting power of a rank 18 true emperor was known as the fighting power of a peak true emperor. Not everyone could reach that level. It had a strict rule, which was to master an ultimate law and 8 king path laws. One had to cultivate all of them to the 3rd realm and reach the peak of 7-star true emperor. Only such a person had the combat power of a rank 18 true emperor. On the other hand, those who had not mastered an ultimate maxim would not have the battle power of a rank 18 true emperor, even if they cultivated it to the peak. At most, they would only have the battle power of a rank 17 true emperor. Some of them could only reach rank 16 true emperor at most. This was also the reason why Lu Ming rarely encountered a rank 18 true emperor. One of the reasons was that most of the rank 18 true emperors were in seclusion to break through to the great emperor realm. The other reason was that they were rare. As for Lu Ming, he had yet to reach the peak of his cultivation and laws, but he was about to reach the combat power of a rank 18 true emperor. If his cultivation and laws were both at the peak, his combat power would be unimaginably strong. Of course, it didn't mean that one couldn't break through to the great emperor realm without reaching the fighting power of a rank 18 true emperor. Many people who didn't master an ultimate law could still break through to the great emperor realm if they had 9 types of laws at the peak. They only needed 1 type of king path law. That's right. To break through to the great emperor realm, one had to master at least 1 king path law out of the 9 laws. This was also why the king body had the potential to become a great emperor. Boom, boom, boom. Just as Lu Ming ended his cultivation and pondered, there was a sudden tremor. It was as if the entire world was shaking. What's going on? Lu Ming's expression changed. Boom, boom, boom. The entire world was shaking more and more violently. The small world is under attack. Gather, everyone gather. A voice spread to every corner. Lu Ming's expression changed. Could it be that the alien race had found this small world? Buzz. And NBSB whoosh. In the huge city, countless figures rose into the air and gathered outside the city wall. Lu Ming also flew over and saw Ren Chan and the rest. Everyone's expression was extremely ugly and heavy. They looked in the direction of the small world's exit. The violent shaking was coming from that direction. Buzz. And NBSB whoosh. From that direction, beams of light flew over. They were the experts guarding the exit. At this moment, they were all panicking. The alien races are attacking. Someone shouted. Many people's faces turned pale. They thought of the rumors that wherever the alien race passed, they would leave no one alive. How is that possible? How could the alien races find the entrance to the small world? Someone shouted. It had been so many years, and the alien races hadn't been able to find the entrance to their small world. How did they find it now? No matter what, prepare to face the enemy. An old man with almost all his hair gone stood at the front and spoke. He was an elder of the small world. There were a total of 5 elders in the small world, and they were all extremely powerful great emperors. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, deafening rumbles came from the front. It was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were marching in the air, causing the void to tremble. Then a mass of dark clouds rushed over. It was not a dark cloud but a foreign race. Countless alien races rode on all kinds of beasts and roared as they charged over. The remnants of the heaven realm, kill them all, leave no one alive. The alien races roared, and the alien beasts roared. They waved their weapons and charged over. Let's kill our way out, kill. An elder shouted. All the experts in this small world gathered and charged toward the alien race. Lu Ming, Ren Chan, and the rest followed the crowd and charged out. The two sides clashed. The first to be hit were the great emperors from both sides. When they collided, terrifying shockwaves erupted as they fought fiercely. Chapter 2296. Chapter 2296. Chapter 2296. Chapter 2296. Chapter 2296. Intense battle, kill. A long spear materialized in Lu Ming's hand. He thrust the spear forward, and its radiance burst forth. In an instant, more than 10 alien races were killed by Lu Ming. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he was almost unrivaled among the true emperors. Even if he encountered a rank 18 true emperor, he could defeat them with the help of the profoundness of the indestructible ancient scroll. Therefore, Lu Ming seemed to have entered a no-man's land. He did not put up any defense at all, and attacked with all his might, killing the alien races one after another. Wherever Lu Ming passed, the alien races fell to the ground like raindrops. However, there were too many alien races. They were much more in number, and had more experts. Miserable shrieks rose and fell. People from the heaven realm were also constantly being killed and fallen here. Especially in the battle between the great emperor realm experts. The heaven realm was at a disadvantage. Some great emperor realm experts had already fallen. The situation was extremely disadvantageous to them. Kill. A rank 18 true emperor alien had his eyes on Lu Ming, and was charging towards him. Boom. Boom. The two of them collided continuously. Lu Ming disregarded his own defense, and launched a frenzied attack. Lu Ming hit the other party, and the other party hit Lu Ming as well. The two of them retreated while coughing blood. However, Lu Ming had the imperishable golden body, and his defense was astonishing. In addition to his breakthrough in the life law, the power of the indestructible ancient scroll was even more terrifying. Lu Ming's injuries were healing continuously. Lu Ming did not care about his injuries at all. He rushed towards the other party again, and fought with all his might. The alien roared, and charged at Lu Ming with a ferocious expression. The two of them continued to exchange blows. After more than 10 moves, the alien was finally defeated. Lu Ming could recover quickly, but the alien could not. Kill. Lu Ming became one with the spear. He thrust his spear forward, and pierced the other party's head. A rank 18 true emperor powerhouse was killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's current strength was truly at the peak of the true emperor realm. With a sweep of his world energy, he pulled the corpse into his small world. Lu Ming then used his 6-feathered divine wings to attack a non-human, with the combat power of a level 17 true emperor. After a few moves, the alien was also killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's figure flickered. He specifically picked some top-notch true emperors to kill. For example, a level 16 true emperor, a level 17 true emperor. In this way, Run Chan and the others could finally take a breather. Go and kill that brat. In the sky, a non-human emperor stared at Lu Ming. There were more great emperors of the non-human race, and they could easily take out some to do other things. Kill. A non-human emperor charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's pupils contracted. His current combat strength was almost invincible in the true emperor realm. However, he was no match for a great emperor. Even the weakest great emperor could kill him easily. Lu Ming planned to use the celestial thearch's physical body. Initially, there were too many foreign tribe experts and many top-notch great emperors. Even if Lu Ming used the celestial thearch's physical body, it would not be of much use to the overall situation. Therefore, Lu Ming planned to save it for critical moments. However, he had no choice but to use it now. Boom! Just as Lu Ming was about to use the celestial thearch's physical body, a terrifying and shocking pressure burst out from the depths of the small world. That was the might of the heavens, the might of the heavenly Tao. The celestial emperor. Lu Ming had a thought in his mind. It was said that there was another celestial emperor in this small world. It seemed that it was true. Forefather. The heaven realm's cultivators roared and became excited. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the depths of the small world, a few sword lights shot out. Wherever the sword lights passed, the space was torn apart, leaving hideous cracks. A few sword lights were aimed at the few great emperors. One of them was the great emperor, who was about to attack Lu Ming. It's the celestial emperor. The alien expert roared as he retreated in fear. However, how could their speed compare to the celestial thearchs? They couldn't retreat at all. A few emperors of the non-human race were killed by a few sword lights. Then, a sword light flashed in the void, and an old man with white hair and a long robe appeared. This was the old ancestor of this small world, a celestial emperor, known as the Celestial Emperor Extinctive Sword. Buzz! Heavenly Emperor Extinctive Sword's sword let out a deafening howl, as a sword light burst forth from his hand. He was about to attack the non-human emperor again. However, at this moment, Celestial Emperor Zhu Jian's expression changed drastically. His sword momentum changed, and turned into a brilliant and huge sword light, slashing towards a side of the void. Boom! The void exploded, and a huge hand covered in purple scales appeared. It collided with the sword light. After a shocking roar, the sword light dissipated and the big hand also shrank back. A few scales on the big hand were cut off, and a trace of blood oozed out. Then the void trembled, and a burly alien appeared in the sky. This foreign being also exuded a terrifying pressure that was not weaker than Heavenly Emperor Zhujian's. He was also a powerful existence in the Heavenly Emperor realm. I didn't expect that there would be a Heavenly Emperor who slipped through the net. You can't be left alive. Today is the day of your death. The foreign Celestial Tharch said coldly, as he charged towards Celestial Tharch Juetian. The Celestial Emperor Extinctive Sword's body burst out with a brilliant sword light as he fought with his opponent. At the same time, a voice rang in the ears of everyone in the heaven realm. Don't linger in battle, charge out. The voice of the Celestial Emperor Extinctive Sword rang out. Charge! The 5 elders and the other great emperor powerhouses gathered with Lu Ming and the rest. They rushed to the front and charged out without a care for their lives. All of you stay. The outsiders roared and surrounded them, not giving them a chance. You guys go first. We must rush out. 2 of the elders roared. Their bodies emitted a brilliant radiance that burned like flames. The 2 founding elders were going all out. They burned their own origins to increase their strength and block a large number of alien experts. Doyen. Many people howled in grief. Burning one's life source would definitely exhaust one's life force, and one would die without a doubt. Charge! The elder roared. Charge out with us, kill! The remaining Doyens and Great Emperor Realm experts led everyone to charge forward. 2 elders tried their best to stop them, but they finally broke through the encirclement and rushed toward the exit of the small world. Behind them, The alien races were chasing after them at an extreme speed. In the process of running away, there were still people dying. Soon they saw the exit of the small world. At this moment, the exit of the small world had been torn open by the alien race, and the exit had expanded hundreds of times. They immediately rushed out. However, when they rushed out, their expressions became even uglier. In front of him was a dense crowd of non-humans, forming an arc that surrounded the exit of the small world. Obviously, the alien race had come prepared. Moreover, he saw two burly men in front of the alien tribe. They were from the heaven realm, and Lu Ming had seen them before. The two burly men looked at Lu Ming, and the rest with a cold smile. Nangong Kong, it's you. You betrayed the small world, you betrayed us. Someone shouted. They finally knew why the alien races had found the entrance to the small world. It was because someone had betrayed them. Chapter 2297. Chapter 2297. Chapter 2296. Chapter 2297. Chapter 2296. Charging into the depths of the forbidden land, everyone's eyes were filled with cold, killing intent as they stared at the two burly men. They had been betrayed. At this moment, the two burly men laughed sinisterly. Then, a layer of black light was emitted from their bodies. It twisted and two black shadows emerged from their bodies. Beside them, two figures appeared like shadows. They've been possessed. One of the elders spoke. They hadn't been betrayed. The two of them had been caught by a foreign race when they went out to gather information. Then, they had been possessed by a foreign race and had obtained the address of the entrance to the small world. At this moment, the two burly men also came to their senses. When they saw Lu Ming and the rest, they instantly understood that they had been used. They had found the entrance to the small world. All, the two of them roared, and their eyes turned red. They turned around and pounced toward the alien race. It was hard for them to accept this. However, one of the great Emperor realm foreign beings struck out with two palms and killed the two burly men. Remnants of the heaven realm, you still want to escape? Kill them. Don't let a single one of them escape. One of the great Emperor realm foreign beings waved his hand. Instantly, the alien army charged toward Lu Ming and the rest. Charge out! One of the elders roared and charged over first. A chaotic battle broke out again. The two sides fought fiercely. However, the alien races came from behind. Lu Ming and the rest were no match for them at all. Kill, kill, kill. Lu Ming's eyes were bloodshot. He wielded his long spear and slaughtered his way through. The alien races were constantly killed by him. He was bathed in blood, both his and the alien races. He continued to circulate the indestructible ancient scroll, healing his injuries. He was like a killing machine that would never tire. Lu Ming had no idea how many alien races he had killed, but the number of people around him was decreasing. Ren Chan was also severely injured. If not for Lu Ming's protection, he would have died. Well, block them and let them rush out. They must rush out. One of the elders roared as his body started to burn like a flame. He burned his life source. He wasn't the only one. The other elders, including the great emperor experts, were all burning their life force. After burning his life source, his battle power had increased dramatically. They had finally torn open a hole. Get out! Ren Chan, you must survive. An elder roared. Ren Chan and Lu Ming were too talented. They could not die here. They could only rise in the future if they escaped. Young people were the hope. Grand elders, Ren Chan cried. The others were the same. The grand elders and elders were doing this to protect them. Otherwise, with their own combat strength, they would have a greater chance of getting out. At this moment, Lu Ming's nose felt a little sour. In the past 2 years, he had already blended into this small world and had feelings for it. But now, he saw with his own eyes that the people he was familiar with were dying one by one in front of his eyes. This was a kind of sorrow. Power, I need unparalleled power. Lu Ming roared in his heart. If he didn't have the strength, it was foreseeable that if the Taiching heavenly region was breached in the future, the primordial realm would not be spared either. At that time, he would not be able to protect his family, his friends, and his lover. This was something he could not accept. Charge out! An elder roared. Kill! Lu Ming, Ren Chan, and the others followed suit, roaring and charging toward the gap. Stop them! The experts of the foreign races attacked crazily, but they were blocked by the Doyens. Lu Ming and the group of people charged madly towards the road. In front of them, there were a few great emperor-level figures opening the way. Along the way, there were still people dying in battle, but they were determined. Finally, they broke out of the encirclement. However, the Doyens and the other great emperor realm elders had already been drowned out by the foreign races. They could no longer be seen. They knew that most of the Doyens and elders would not be able to survive. Kill! In the distance, the alien races were chasing after them. And the situation was still very dangerous. Where should we go? There are alien races everywhere. No matter where we go, we will die. Many people's faces were pale. Even if they rushed out, they still had no way out. Enter the land of dusk. At that moment, Lu Ming's words were heard by everyone present. Many people could not help but look at Lu Ming. The land of dusk was the #1 forbidden area in the 10,000 spirit heavenly domain. It was full of danger, and those who went in would most likely die. Previously, a large number of foreign powerhouses had entered the depths of the land of dusk and suffered heavy losses. Even the celestial Tharch had died. Wouldn't they be courting death if they went in? If we try to escape in another direction, we won't be able to escape. Sooner or later, they will catch up to us. At that time, only death will await us. Only by entering the depths of the land of dusk can we have a chance to survive. Otherwise, we won't have a chance. Lu Ming spoke with a firm voice. All right, let's do that. We don't have time. Charge into the depths of the land of dusk. Ren Chan shouted. Let's go. The remaining few emperors also made their decision and rushed into the depths of the land of dusk. Behind them, the foreign races were closing in on them. As they fled, they chased and killed, and people kept dying. Well, bring up the rear. A few great emperors came to the back to stop the alien races. The land of dusk was extremely dangerous. It was filled with terrifying killing intent. However, due to the attack of the foreign tribes, the structure of the terrain had been changed. There were traces of fighting the Wa everywhere, and the energy of the field had disappeared. They had followed the path opened up by the alien race. Otherwise, they would have died under that field energy. They charged all the way into the land of dusk. However, after charging for a while, they encountered another group of foreign races. This road was also guarded by alien races. When they saw Lu Ming and the rest, the alien races roared and charged over. There were strong enemies in front and pursuers behind. Now there was only one battle left. Charge! Lu Ming took the lead. His glabella glowed, and the celestial Thearch's physical body flew out. Now he had no choice but to use the celestial emperor corporeal body. Fortunately, in the past few years, Lu Ming would store energy for the celestial Thearch's body whenever he was free. Lu Ming had killed so many true emperor realm alien races and obtained an astonishing amount of their crystals. They were constantly converted into energy for the celestial emperor's physical body. Over the past 2 years, the energy stored in celestial emperor's corporeal body had reached an astonishing 55%. The power of such rich energy was naturally astonishing and terrifying. Lu Ming merged into the celestial Thearch's physical body. The celestial Thearch's physical body held the combat sword and slashed. A large number of alien races below the great emperor level were instantly killed. Such a powerful puppet! Rin Chan and the others were overjoyed. They had thought that the celestial emperor's corporeal body was a puppet. Lu Ming controlled the celestial Thearch's physical body and took the lead in killing. The celestial Thearch's physical body was sturdy and immortal. Lu Ming did not care about defense at all. He only needed to charge forward and kill. Chapter 2298, Chapter 2298, Golden, Chapter 2298. Golden-furred zombie, the celestial emperor's corporeal body, had stored 55% of the energy. When it exploded, it was truly shocking. A 1-star great emperor of the non-human race rushed over and was killed by Lu Ming with a single slash. If he used 55% of his energy, it would be enough to kill a 3-star great emperor. Kill! Lu Ming killed his way through. With Lu Ming's divine might, The alien races in front of them were finally defeated. They rushed over. However, as they were blocked by the front, and the foreign races behind them caught up, they lost a large number of people. People were dying continuously. Now they had less than 3,000 people. The number of people in the entire small world was shocking. Naturally, there were far more than 3,000 people. However, those with low cultivation levels were kept into the small worlds by the true Emperor realm experts. However, this was also extremely dangerous. If the true Emperor was killed, everyone in the small world would die as well. So, along the way, who knew how many people and how many divine beasts had died? The numbers were endless. This was the war between the two worlds, and it was extremely cruel. When the foreign races attacked the heaven realm, the number of living beings that died in the heaven realm was uncountable. Less than 3,000 people charged into the depths of the land of dusk. However, after charging for a while, they encountered another group of foreign races. There was no other way. This path had been opened up by the alien races, so there were naturally alien races guarding it. However, it was even more dangerous to go anywhere else. The field energy of the land of dusk could kill everything. Everyone fought with all their might, bathing in blood as they charged forward. Yet another few hundred people were left here forever. Fortunately, after running into a few waves of alien races, there were no more alien races in front. Lu Ming killed his way to the back and fought with the alien races that were chasing him. At the end of the battle, the energy in Celestial Emperor's corporeal body was completely exhausted, and he could no longer control it. Lu Ming had no choice but to put away the Celestial Thearch's body. At this moment, he had already killed countless alien races. In the end, they only had about 2,000 people left. This was an extremely heavy loss. At this time, they finally arrived at the depths of the land of dusk. In front of him, there were mountains one after another, rising and falling with each other. At this point, the foreign kinds actually stopped and retreated. In the eyes of the outsiders, everyone could see fear and terror. Lu Ming and the group perked up and did not dare to be careless. These mountains look like huge tombs. Someone said, his voice a little dry. The others were silent. Indeed, these mountains, one after another, really looked like large tombs. Although there were no tombstones or anything, the shape looked very similar. I don't think so. These mountains are so majestic. How can they be large tombs? After a while, someone asked in bewilderment. What should we do next? Someone asked. The foreign tribes have retreated. Let's take a rest and recover our strength. One group will rest while the other group will patrol the surroundings. An elder of the great emperor realm said. Now there were only 3 great emperors left among them. Everyone nodded. This was the only thing they could do now. Just as they were about to make arrangements for their rest, suddenly, a deep rumble came from the front. It came from those mountains. Everyone was shocked. They didn't have time to rest and gathered together on guard. Boom, boom, boom. A few majestic mountains trembled. Under everyone's shocked gazes, they actually split open. Roar! A roar came from the crack in the mountain, and a terrifying demonic chi burst out. It was so terrifying that it made people's hearts beat faster. It was a great horror. Roar! 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 Roars came from several mountains in a row. The mountains trembled under the roars, and even the earth trembled. The clouds in the sky were scattered, and cracks appeared in the space. There seemed to be a few ancient beasts lying dormant in the mountains. What is this? Someone's voice trembled. They recalled the news that they had heard before. Some time ago, the Outlanders had entered the depths of the land of dusk in large numbers, but they had returned in defeat in the end. A terrifying creature had awakened in the depths of the land of dusk. The Outlanders, who were also heavenly emperors, had fallen here. Was this the kind of creature he was facing now? Their faces turned pale. This was truly a dead end. There were alien races behind them, and there were such living beings in front of them. However, they did not blame Lu Ming. Even if they did not take this path and rush to other places in the 10,000 spirit heavenly domain, there was no way for them to go. The alien races would catch up with them. If they encountered the alien race's celestial Thearch, they would still be doomed. Ever since the alien races found the entrance to the small world, Their fates seemed to have been sealed, just like all the other creatures in 10,000 spirit heavenly region. Roar! A few terrifying roars sounded from the mountains. Then a few figures walked out. And NBSB instantly, a terrifying death energy exploded and covered the world. Many of those with weaker cultivations immediately spat out large mouthfuls of blood. That is, humans. No, zombies. Zombies! Someone exclaimed in shock. The figure that walked out of the mountain was not a prehistoric giant beast. It was in the form of an adult, and had a tall figure, more than 2 meters tall. However, these figures were covered in long golden hair, and had blood-red eyes. The aura of death and fierceness was so thick that it couldn't be dispersed. They were clearly zombies. These mountains were indeed huge tombs. Terrifying experts were buried in these huge tombs, and they had turned into zombies after their deaths. Many thoughts flashed through Lu Ming and the rest's minds. However, what kind of existence could turn into such a terrifying zombie? Even the heavenly emperor of the foreign race had fallen here. Roar! There were a total of 5 zombies. Their blood-red eyes were fixed on Lu Ming and the others. A terrifying murderous aura filled the air. Not good, stop. The remaining great emperors rushed forward and unleashed their auras, trying to stop the demonic chi. However, the moment the demonic chi hit them, their bodies trembled, and they retreated. Their eyes were filled with shock. They couldn't resist the fierce chi. The strength of these zombies was terrifying. However, although these zombies had amazing strength, they didn't seem to have any intelligence. With a roar, their fiendish chi became even stronger, and turned into a cold killing intent. Not good, retreat, retreat. A great emperor roared. Roar! Roar! The 5 zombies roared and moved like lightning, rushing towards the crowd at an extremely fast speed. I'm finished. Everyone had the same thought. These few zombies' strength was incomparably shocking. They were not what they could resist at all. They would be easily torn apart. Stop! At this moment, a loud roar came from the depths of the land of dusk. Then the 5 zombies suddenly stopped and floated in the air. Buzz! And NBSB whoosh! In the depths of the land of dusk, behind the towering mountains, at least a dozen figures flew through the air. They were very fast, and in the blink of an eye, they were near them. Chapter 2299, Chapter 2299, Chapter 2298, Chapter 2299, Chapter 2298 Ancient Body Cultivator. Humans, it's the humans! Rin Chan exclaimed, and the others also became excited. Those people were definitely humans. They were all middle-aged men with burly bodies and strong auras. Their bodies were filled with powerful life essence. They weren't zombies but real humans. They didn't expect that there would be humans in the depths of the land of dusk, and it seemed that those powerful zombies would listen to their orders. If he was a human, they would be saved. More than a dozen burly men came forward and first bowed to those zombies, which made people surprised. Then the dozen of them looked at Lu Ming, and the rest with a strong sense of hostility in their eyes. You guys are from the law system? Were you the ones who disturbed our ancestors' slumber? The leader of the group, a burly man, spoke with a cold voice. Law system? The ancestor is in a deep sleep? He was very surprised to see Lu Ming, Run Chan and the others. What did this burly man mean? Why did he say that they were a system of laws? This statement was very strange. Could it be that the other party did not cultivate the nomological system? And the ancestors' slumber, could it be referring to those zombies? Senior, we weren't the ones who disturbed your ancestors' slumber a while ago. It was the outsiders. Rin Chan said. A foreign race? What alien race? The leading middle-aged man was puzzled. In my opinion, it's them. There are no good people in the law system. Capture them all first, and hand them over to the elders for interrogation to see what conspiracy they have. Another big man shouted. Not bad. The other burly men nodded one after another. This made Lu Ming and the others' expressions change. The burly man in the lead nodded. At once, more than 10 burly men moved as fast as lightning, and appeared around Lu Ming and the rest. Boom! Boom! A shocking aura burst out from the bodies of the dozen burly men, and there was a thunderous explosion. Pillars of blood chi rushed out of their bodies and soared into the sky like smoke. It was pure blood qi. The dozen burly men were like 10 ancient barbaric dragons. Their blood qi was extremely dense, forming a terrifying pressure. Body cultivators, ancient body cultivators, they are ancient body cultivators. A great emperor exclaimed. The others were also greatly shocked. Ancient body cultivators. These people were actually ancient body cultivators. No wonder these people called them the system of laws. The immemorial cultivation system and the system of laws were indeed two completely different cultivation systems. However, the immemorial body cultivators had long been lost. Only a small number of them were still passed down. And the number of people who cultivated them was also very small. There were actually more than 10 Archean body cultivators here. Senior, you've misunderstood. This is the first time we've come here. We were also being hunted down, so we fled here. The ones who disturbed you are indeed from the foreign tribes. An emperor explained. The auras of these dozen or so burly men were too astonishing. Their chi and blood were incomparably rich, like savage dragons. Their muscles trembled slightly, and they actually emitted a terrifying rumbling sound. It was caused by the rapid vibration of his muscles and the bombarding of air. This was a pure ancient body cultivator. It was said that the immemorial body cultivators cultivated their physical bodies. Their chi and blood were like dragons, and their physical bodies were unbelievably strong. They didn't have saint power or world power in their bodies, but they could still fly and even break the void. What he relied on was his physical body. Their muscles vibrated and resonated with the space, allowing them to fly. They had already used their bodies to the extreme. This was the case for the dozen burly men in front of him. Whether it's a misunderstanding or not, you can explain it to our elders. Let's go, don't force us to fight. You're courting death. The burly man in the lead said coldly. A terrifying aura enveloped the heavens and earth. His figure was clearly no different from an ordinary person. But he made people feel as if they were facing a giant wild beast. Roar! Roar! The 5 zombies also roared, and their terrifying aura enveloped Lu Ming and the others. Everyone's expression changed. These 5 zombies were extremely powerful. With the addition of the dozen burly men, they simply couldn't resist them. If they attacked, only death would await them. No matter what, they are all human beings. It's better than falling into the hands of the alien races. That's right, then we'll go with them. A few people transmitted their voices. In the end, the few great emperors nodded and decided to follow the other party. Follow us. The burly man in the lead led the way into the depths of the land of dusk. Lu Ming and the rest followed him. The other burly men fell behind and blocked their way out. They flew toward the tomb-like mountains, and when the 5 zombies arrived, they entered the cracks in the mountains, and the mountains closed one by one. Could it be that these zombies were all experts who cultivated ancient body cultivators when they were alive? Lu Ming guessed in his heart. Ancient body cultivators had extremely strong bodies, and it was difficult for their bodies to decay even after death. These zombies were so powerful, so they were most likely formed after the ancient body cultivators died. Experts who cultivated the nomological system did not have such powerful bodies. Even if they turned into zombies after death, they would not be so powerful. Moreover, these zombies didn't seem to have any intelligence, but they listened to the orders of the burly men. The burly men called these zombies ancestors, which explained the problem even more. The group of people kept going inside. After crossing those mountains, what appeared in front of them was still the mountains. There are so many mountains. It can't be that every mountain has a powerful zombie, right? Someone said in a low voice full of shock. If that was the case, it would be terrifying. No wonder the foreign races would suffer a great loss here. They had flown over at least 100 mountains. In front of them, there was a col surrounded by a few mountains. In the col there was a huge stone gate. The stone door was open, and there was a pitch-black vortex inside. This is the entrance to a small world. Lu Ming and the group had an idea. The burly man in the lead entered the stone door first, followed by Lu Ming and the rest. After stepping through the stone door, they arrived at a huge square in the next moment. There were already many people around the square. They were all middle-aged men with strong qi and blood. One look, and one could tell that they were all from the immemorial system. The land of 10,000 spirits, number 1 forbidden area. The depths of the land of dusk actually had a small world with a large number of Archean body cultivators. It was truly shocking. Come with me. The burly man who was the leader of the group stood in front of them. After he finished speaking, he led them and flew forward. This space. No, could it be a small world that was born naturally? Lu Ming sensed it carefully and was even more surprised. There were many small worlds in this world, and most of them were man-made. Once one's cultivation reached the true emperor realm, they would be able to cultivate a relatively stable small world. However, there were also very few small worlds that were not man-made, but were born naturally. For example, when the heaven realm was born, there would also be some small worlds born and attached to the heaven realm. However, such small worlds were extremely rare. The one where the immemorial body cultivators lived was naturally born. Chapter 2300. Chapter 2300. The world of body cultivators. After flying for a while, a huge city appeared in front of them. In the city, all kinds of stone buildings soared into the sky. They were so dense that one couldn't see the end of it. From afar, one could see many people coming and going in the city. This place was like a real world. It was like a huge country. It was said that there were many cultivation systems in the immemorial era. For example, the immemorial body cultivator, the immemorial martial Tao, the immemorial demonic Tao, the immemorial devil Tao, and so on. There were many cultivation paths, and they were extremely prosperous. Later on, the origin law system rose up and expanded at an astonishing speed. This was because the ancient cultivation system had extremely high requirements in all aspects. The cultivation conditions were harsh, and only a few people could cultivate it. However, the nomological system didn't have such high requirements. As long as one had some talent, they could cultivate it and naturally grow very quickly. It didn't take long for the nomological system to become the most powerful cultivation system. Where there were people, there would be martial arts. And NBSB, the various systems fought against each other, and then a shocking war broke out. And NBSB, the various ancient systems were fighting against the law systems. That battle was earth-shattering. But in the end, it ended with a great victory for the nomological system. As for the other systems, many of their inheritances were severed, and they fell apart. Slowly, they became weaker and weaker. By now, there were not many people who cultivated the immemorial system. However, there was such a world here. Could it be that it had been here since the immemorial era? Everyone's imagination ran wild. After that, they flew into the city. Countless people looked at Lu Ming, and the rest curiously, whispering to each other. Not long after, they arrived at another square. There were already quite a few people on the square. There were old men, middle-aged men, and young people. All of them had powerful chi and blood, like wild dragons. Even though the hair of the elders had turned white, their skin was smooth and their muscles were full, as if they were filled with boundless strength. Elder. The burly man in the lead came before a few white-haired elders and bowed to report. He then told them in detail about his encounter with Lu Ming and the rest. The few elders nodded. One of them walked toward Lu Ming and the rest. Were you the ones who disturbed our ancestors' slumber a while ago? The old man asked. Senior, it wasn't us. One of the great emperors on Lu Ming's side said. Not you. Some time ago, our ancestor was disturbed and walked out of the tomb. He roared and fought with people. This time, we sent people to check and happened to see you. How can you say it wasn't you? The old man's face darkened. Senior, it really wasn't us. The ones who attacked this place were the alien races. We were also chased by the alien races, so we fled here. An emperor explained. A foreign race? What alien race? Could it be a divine beast? There are also many divine beasts among you. The old man was puzzled, and his gaze swept across Lu Ming and the rest. It's not a divine beast. It's a race from another world. They're fierce and brutal. Most of the territories in the heaven realm have been occupied by them, and countless creatures have died in battle. The great emperor explained. What? A race from another world? The old man's expression changed drastically. On the side, the expressions of the other immemorial body cultivators also changed. My body cultivators have been living in seclusion Here ever since the war in the ancient times. I've never left. What's happening in the outside world now? The old man asked. Everyone's hearts moved. No wonder the other party didn't know about the foreign races. They had been living in seclusion here since the ancient era. The immemorial era was much longer than the ancient era. During the immemorial era, the foreign races had yet to invade. Senior, it's like this. The great emperor immediately recounted the invasion of the foreign tribes in the ancient times in detail. Then he told them how they were besieged, how they escaped in defeat, and how they had no choice but to escape to the depths of the land of dusk. The old man and the other Archean body cultivators all listened attentively. After they finished listening, their expressions became extremely heavy. Senior, of the 9 heaven domains in the heaven realm, 8 have been occupied by the Outlanders. The 10,000 spirit heavenly domain was occupied countless years ago. Now countless small worlds and other forbidden lands have been occupied by the Outlanders. Only the land of dusk has not been occupied. I speculate that the Outlanders will not let this place go. They will mobilize a large number of powerful cultivators to attack this place. The great emperor said. The old man's expression was uncertain. After a while he said, "What you guys said, is it true or false?" It was obvious that they were still skeptical. In the battle that year, the immemorial body cultivator had been defeated by the system of laws. They did not have a good impression of people who had the system of laws. Every word is true, the great emperor said, and the others nodded in agreement. Buzz, buzz, buzz. At this moment, a few burly men flew over at top speed, their faces filled with panic. Elder, a large number of experts have appeared in the ancestors' slumbering grounds. I don't know which race they are from, but they are attacking the ancestors' slumbering grounds. A burly man reported. What? Gather the experts and face the enemy. The elder roared, and his voice spread far and wide. Soon, the sound of a bell rang out from the giant city. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Countless figures flew out of the buildings in the city and toward the exit of the world. So many experts. Lu Ming and the rest were secretly shocked. Among them, some of their auras were terrifyingly strong. They were definitely figures of the great Emperor realm. And there was no lack of heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses. You guys keep an eye on them, don't let them go anywhere. The elder ordered the people around him, then rose into the air, and also headed towards the world exit. There were more than 10 burly men around them, staring at Lu Ming and the group. Lu Ming and the rest waited quietly. 2 days passed, and they saw a large number of figures flying back to the city. It seems like we won. The immemorial body cultivators are indeed powerful. Rin Chan's beautiful eyes flickered as she said. The others also revealed looks of joy. No matter what, the immemorial body cultivators were still humans, so they were better than the foreign races. At this moment, a few figures flew over. The one in the middle was a young man. The young man looked to be in his 20s. He was well built and muscular, as if he was full of infinite strength. He flew toward Lu Ming and the group, sizing them up curiously. The elder asked me to pass on a message. He believes that what you said is true. With the current situation, all the races in the heaven realm should unite with each other. So, you can move freely here in the future. One will arrange your accommodation. Rin Chan and the others were ecstatic. They were saved. It was clear that the strong ancient body cultivators, who had gone out to fight with the foreign races, had finally believed their words and agreed to accept them. This brother, I wonder how the battle situation outside is? Lu Ming stepped out and asked with cupped fists. The alien tribes outside have been defeated by the powerhouses and the sacred ancestor body. The young man said. I'm guessing that the other races will probably send more troops and experts. Lu Ming said, his expression still somewhat solemn. Chapter 2301. Chapter 2301. Chapter 2300. Chapter 2301. Chapter 2300 Cultivation Field. The young man nodded and said, the elders have already thought about it. They will send a large number of experts to guard the place where the ancestor is slumbering. At the same time, the elders are also thinking of other countermeasures. All right, they'll bring you to your living quarters first. Then, The young man turned around and flew in one direction. Lu Ming and the rest followed him. On the way, they found out the young man's name. He was called Hong Lu. Not long after, they came to an empty land. There were large stone houses here, and no one was living in them. Lu Ming and the rest stayed there for the time being. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days had passed since Lu Ming and the rest arrived. Hong Lu was very curious about Lu Ming and the rest, mainly about the outside world. Therefore, he often came to look for them. Lu Ming, Ren Chan, and Hong Lu were all young people. Naturally, they could get along well with each other. After a while, they became familiar with each other. Lu Ming and the rest also had a better understanding of this world. Ever since their lineage was defeated in the Primordial War, they had been living in seclusion in the depths of the Land of Dusk. The Land of Dusk was the most dangerous forbidden area in the Land of 10,000 Spirits. There was a terrifying energy field everywhere. For so many years, no one had discovered that there were actually a large number of primordial body cultivators living in seclusion here. The exit of this world, which was the place where the ancient body cultivators had said their ancestors were slumbering, was indeed the place where the ancient body cultivators' ancestors were buried. Many Archean body cultivators who had fallen would be buried there. Under the effect of the wonderful field energy there, the bodies of those experts would turn into zombies. Although the zombies had no intelligence, the ancient body cultivators had a special technique that allowed them to communicate with the zombies and control them to form a powerful combat force. Back then, when the foreign tribe attacked the depths of the Land of Dusk, they had alarmed those zombies. Those zombies had awakened and defeated the foreign tribe. The awakening of the zombie had also alarmed the Archean body cultivators, which was why they had sent people out to investigate. They had just happened to run into Lu Ming and the others, and mistook them for attacking that area. During this period of time, Hong Lu had also been inquiring about the outside world's information. Lu Ming told him what he knew. The alien race is so vicious. They deserve to be killed. Hong Lu roared angrily, filled with righteous indignation. Brother Lu, Miss Ren Chan, shall one show you around? Enjoy the scenery and customs of our side. Hong Lu invited. All right, Ren Chan said. She was also very curious about this place. It was just that it was her first time here, so she did not dare to walk around. Lu Ming also nodded. Immediately, they led the way, and everyone began to walk around. Most of the Archean body cultivators were simple and honest. When they saw Lu Ming and the rest, they sized them up curiously, smiled and nodded. They walked around the city and came to a wide area. This was a cultivation field of the immemorial system. The cultivation field was very wide, and there were many people cultivating there. However, most of them were quite young. There were 2 to 3-year-old kids, 5 to 6 years old kids, 7 to 8 years old kids, and the oldest was a teenager. What surprised Lu Ming and the rest was that the strength of these little brats was shockingly great. Lu Ming saw a 4 to 5-year-old kid running around with a huge cauldron weighing more than 10,000 caddies. A 7 or 8-year-old child was carrying a small mountain and walking as if he was flying. Each and every one of them was shockingly powerful. Lu Ming and Ren Chan were dumbfounded. We Archean body cultivators have to lay our foundations from the age of 1. We'll soak our bodies in spiritual liquid to polish our bodies. From the age of 3, we'll have to cultivate body tempering techniques. All our cultivation is focused on the physical body, so we're stronger. Hong Lu explained with a smile, feeling rather pleased with himself. Amazing, he's indeed amazing. Lu Ming sighed. The immemorial body cultivator had an unparalleled physical body, and was indeed extremely powerful. Those who cultivated in the nomological system would temper their bodies, and become stronger, as their cultivation level increased. After reaching the martial royal realm, cultivating a spirit body would have all kinds of wonderful effects and a strong vitality. However, when it came to physical strength, Lu Ming realized that even the bodies of many martial saints were not as strong as the bodies of the 7 or 8-year-old children here, let alone martial emperors. As for those teenagers, their bodies were even more astonishing. Bang! Bang! In the sky, 2 figures were engaged in an intense battle. The two 15 or 16-year-old youths kept clashing in the sky like two rainbows, their speed shocking. It's equivalent to the battle strength of a bright saint. Also, this kind of use of the physical body is too amazing. Lu Ming sized it up carefully and was amazed. These two young men were only 15 or 16 years old, but they already had the battle strength of a bright saint. This was already very good. Furthermore, their use of their physical bodies was extremely profound. Their muscles were vibrating rapidly, resonating with the air and space, allowing their bodies to fly at an amazing speed. The vibration was very subtle. If not for Lu Ming's amazing eyesight, he would not have noticed it. The two's attack method was very simple. It was a collision of power. Each punch hit the flesh. Bang, bang, bang. The two of them exchanged a few hundred moves before stopping. They each found a place to resume their cultivation. Brother Lu, I can feel that your blood qi is extremely rich, and your body is strong, far beyond other cultivation systems. I'm very curious. Have you also cultivated body cultivation techniques? Honglu sized Lu Ming up and asked curiously. Honglu was an expert in body cultivation. He was very sensitive to people with powerful physical bodies. He could naturally sense that Lu Ming's physical body was extremely powerful. I've never cultivated body cultivation before. It's just a coincidence that my body is stronger, Lu Ming said with a smile. His spiritual body was a superior grade heavenly spiritual body, and he had refined the chaotic qi inside, so he was extremely powerful. After that, he had been tempered by the 9 types of laws forming a river. In addition, he had refined a portion of the ancestral dragon's blood's energy. This made Lu Ming's physical body shockingly powerful. In the nomological system, none of the martial artists of the same level could compare to Lu Ming's physical body. Brother Lu, why don't we have a competition? Honglu said expectantly. He had never sparred with experts from other cultivation systems before. He had always been very curious about how strong the nomological system was. It could actually defeat other cultivation systems in the ancient era. All right, Lu Ming nodded. He was also very curious about how strong the pure physical cultivators of the immemorial era were. Baoda was also an immemorial body cultivator, and was very powerful. Lu Ming had fought with Baoda in the Primordial Realm's 10 Lands battle, and had a deep impression of him. The two of them moved and arrived in the sky. The youths and children in the cultivation field were all attracted. Big Brother Honglu is going to make his move. Big Brother Honglu is invincible among the younger generation. It's been a long time since he fought. I can learn well this time. The youths and children all called out in excitement. Even some of the older ones were attracted. As the strongest genius of this generation's immemorial body cultivators, there was no need to doubt Honglu's combat strength. They also wanted to see how powerful the geniuses of the nomological system were. Chapter 2302. Chapter 2302. Body Cultivation Technique. Brother Honglu, please. Lu Ming waved his hands. Brother Lu, be careful, Honglu said. The muscles on his body bulged slightly, and a terrifying whistling sound came from his body. That was because his blood qi was too rich. The fluctuations produced when he circulated it were like the angry roar of a true dragon. When one's blood qi reached such a level, it was absolutely terrifying. Even without the life law and the indestructible ancient scroll, one's vitality was still astonishingly strong. Most injuries would be able to heal quickly. Boom! Honglu's muscles trembled. His body rushed towards Lu Ming, and he threw a punch at Lu Ming. Lu Ming squinted his eyes and circulated the world energy in his body to the extreme. The strength of his physical body was also mobilized by Lu Ming. In addition, Lu Ming used the law of chaos. Boom! Lu Ming also threw a punch. This punch was a combination of Lu Ming's physical strength, the power of the world, and the power of the law of chaos. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, and his third realm laws of chaos, the power of this punch was extremely shocking. Bang! The two fists collided. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. He felt that Honglu's fist was like a few hundred mountains. Waves of terrifying power rushed towards Lu Ming. Even the third realm laws of chaos trembled, and were almost pierced through. Lu Ming's body could not help but retreat. Honglu's body only swayed slightly before stabilizing. What powerful strength, what powerful battle strength. Lu Ming was a little shocked. With Lu Ming's current cultivation base, even if he only used one type of chaos law, his combat power was extremely shocking. Few people of the same level in the Tai Ching heavenly region could block him. However, Honglu had forced him back with one punch. Honglu's combat strength was top-notch, even in the Tai Ching heavenly region. Amazing, brother Honglu is amazing. The children and youths all began to shout in excitement. But Honglu himself, his expression was very grave. Although he had forced Lu Ming back with a punch, he could sense that Lu Ming had not used his full strength. There was a terrifying power in his body. Brother Lu, I don't think you've used your full strength. Use your full strength, Honglu said. Come. Lu Ming only said one word. At the same time, his body was constantly glowing. Array Dao Law, Artifact Dao Law, Penetration Law, and Extreme Law. Lu Ming had used 4 types of laws in succession. Among them, the Array Dao Law and the Smithing Dao Law were at the 3rd realm, while the Penetration Law and the Extremity Law were at the 2nd realm. Lu Ming's aura was stronger. Boom! The 5 types of laws fused and supplemented Lu Ming's fist. Lu Ming threw another punch. Honglu also charged toward Lu Ming, throwing a punch. Bang! The two of them collided for the 2nd time. The space where their fists met kept exploding, revealing cracks that looked like spider webs. This time, the two of them swayed at the same time, and took a few steps back. Then the two of them started fighting again. Bang! 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 The collision of the fists was very direct, and they continued to bombard each other. Lu Ming did not use his divine ability, life law or death law. The two of them exchanged hundreds of moves, and ended up in a draw. After another exchange of blows, the two of them retreated, and Honglu panted heavily. Awesome, awesome. The system of laws is indeed wonderful. Brother Lu, did you use your full strength? Tell me. Honglu stared at Lu Ming. Almost just a little bit more. Haha. Lu Ming smiled. He didn't use his full strength, mainly because he wanted to save some face for Honglu in front of the child. After all, Honglu was the strongest heaven's favorite of this generation of immemorial body cultivators, and was the idol of these children. If they defeated Honglu, it would inevitably be a blow to these children's confidence. You bastard, I knew it. Let's fight again next time. Honglu was rather forthright. He chuckled, and did not take it to heart. He stared at Lu Ming and said, Your physical body is really strong. It's not weaker than some body cultivators. Why don't you try to cultivate some body cultivation techniques? A body cultivation technique? Lu Ming was stunned. Look over there. The Honglu Road pointed to the north. There was a huge cliff at the edge of the cultivation field. From a distance, one could see dense words written on the cliff. What's written on it is a body cultivation technique. Let's go and take a look. Honglu said. Brother Hong, this is a body cultivation technique. I'm afraid it's not appropriate for us to take a look. Lu Ming said. Every system had its own cultivation technique, many of which were not taught to outsiders. They were not body cultivators' inheritors, so it would be bad if they violated a taboo. It's fine. That body cultivation technique is only used to strengthen one's foundation. Everyone can cultivate it. It's not a core technique. Honglu said as he walked towards the cliff. Lu Ming and Ren Chan were very curious, and followed him to the bottom of the cliff. Little heavenly mystery art. Lu Ming looked at it carefully, and realized that there was a body tempering technique recorded on the cliff. It was called the Little Heaven Mysterious Skill. The minor heavenly mystery technique is the most widespread among the ancient body cultivators. It's also the most suitable body tempering technique to build a foundation. Anyone can cultivate it. It has a total of 12 levels. If you're interested, you can try cultivating it. It'll be very helpful in improving your body, Honglu said. Many thanks. Lu Ming and Ren Chan thanked him, and then began to read it carefully. This is really amazing. It turns out that there are so many things to pay attention to in the physical body. Lu Ming sighed as he read. Soon, he had memorized all the content. He then sat cross-legged and comprehended it quietly. 2 days later, Lu Ming began to cultivate. First, He activated the first level of the little heavenly mysterious art. Buzz. His muscles, his bones, and even his internal organs all let out a buzzing sound. The buzz turned into a wondrous energy. It was like a sound wave that seeped into every part of Lu Ming's body. At this moment, Lu Ming felt his entire body go numb, as if he had been electrocuted. His body was trembling slightly according to a strange pattern. Lu Ming realized that his physical body was slowly becoming stronger. Some of the areas that were difficult to temper in the past were also becoming stronger. Although the extent of this increase was very small, it was indeed becoming stronger. It was as if his physical body was being thoroughly baptized and polished. Not long after, Lu Ming felt that he had successfully cultivated the first stage of the Little Heaven mysterious skill. Next, the second level. Lu Ming continued to cultivate the second level. At the second level, Lu Ming realized that the tempering of his body was more thorough. His muscles and bones were vibrating at a mysterious frequency. His entire body was numb and itchy. His muscles and bones were slowly transforming. Lu Ming's physical body was already very powerful to begin with. However, it was already very shocking that he could still transform. Not long after, Lu Ming had cultivated to the second level, and then the third level. There was no one else who could cultivate the little heavenly mysterious art to this level in such a short time. Everyone waited in silence. After that, Ren Chan also ended her practice. She had only completed the third level so far. If she continued, she felt that she was not strong enough, and needed time to slowly polish it. When she saw more than 10 old men staring at Lu Ming without blinking, she was shocked. After asking around, Xiang Honglu finally understood the whole story of the matter. What a pervert! Ren Chan sighed. The physical cultivators might not know how freakish Lu Ming was, but she did. Lu Ming had mastered 3 ultimate maxims. He was an unprecedented figure in the system of maxims. She could not help but sigh when she saw that Lu Ming was so perverted when he cultivated the body cultivation technique. Lu Ming was unaware of everything that was happening outside. He was immersed in his cultivation. Very quickly, he completed the cultivation of the 10th level and broke into the 11th level. He felt that his body was constantly strengthening and becoming tougher. His strength was also increasing. In particular, there was a drop of ancestral dragon blood in his heart. As Lu Ming cultivated the Little Heaven mysterious skill, traces of energy surged into Lu Ming's body from that drop of ancestral dragon blood. Lu Ming refined it and strengthened his physical body. The 11th level was not difficult for Lu Ming, and he cultivated it successfully very quickly. Then it was the 12th level. Buzz. And MBSB whoosh. It was also the last stage of the Little Mysterious Heaven skill. At this stage, Lu Ming's body was constantly trembling and buzzing. He could feel that his physical strength had reached an extreme. A month after Lu Ming cultivated the Minor Heaven mysterious art, he finally cultivated it to perfection. He succeeded. He succeeded. Heavens, he's cultivated the Little Heavenly Mystery technique to perfection in just a month. This kind of talent is too shocking. We can't waste his talent in physical cultivation. One think we should teach him the 7 gods mysterious technique. I agree. More than 10 old men spoke excitedly one after another. Their eyes were shining. When they looked at Lu Ming, it was as if they were looking at a rare treasure. Even Honglu was greatly shocked. The elders actually wanted to pass the 7 gods mysterious technique to Lu Ming. The 7 gods mysterious technique was completely different from the minor heavenly mysterious technique. The minor heavenly mysterious technique was only a technique used to build the foundation for physical cultivators. It was widely spread and everyone could cultivate it. However, the 7 gods mysterious technique was a core technique of the body cultivation lineage and one of the top secret techniques. Generally, only the geniuses of the body cultivation lineage could cultivate it. Honglu himself was cultivating this technique. It could be seen how much the elders admired Lu Ming. There was no one in the history of body cultivation who could cultivate the Little Heavenly Mystery technique to perfection in just a month. This kind of talent was too shocking. It would be a waste if he did not cultivate the body cultivation technique. Who? At this moment, Lu Ming let out a long breath and opened his eyes. My strength has doubled. Lu Ming felt his strength and revealed a look of excitement. His physical body had become much stronger, and his strength had doubled. Coupled with the world force and various laws, Lu Ming's combat strength had undoubtedly increased by another level. Lu Ming felt that if he were to unleash his full power now, he could already reach the combat strength of a rank 18 true emperor. Following that, Lu Ming swept his gaze across the room and was shocked. There were more than 10 pairs of bright eyes staring at him. Little guy, how do you feel? Is your body much stronger? You're a peerless genius in the world of body cultivators. How about this? In the future, you don't have to cultivate the nomological system. Change to cultivating the body cultivation lineage. This old man will take you in as a disciple. Get lost, he's my disciple. More than 10 old men glared at him and started to fight over him. They all wanted to take Lu Ming as their disciple. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Chapter 2304. 7 Gods' Mysterious Technique. Chapter 2304. 7 Gods' Mysterious Technique. More than 10 white-haired old men glared at each other. They looked like they were ready to draw their swords. However, when they looked at Lu Ming, their eyes were burning with passion. Lu Ming only reacted after a long while. Well, seniors, I cultivate the nomological system. I don't have any plans to abandon the nomological system and focus on cultivating my physical body. Lu Ming still answered honestly. It was not easy for him to achieve his current achievements in all kinds of laws. He had paid too much. Furthermore, his nomological system was unprecedented and unprecedented. In the future, he could master even more ultimate maxims. How could he give them up just like that? You still want to cultivate the system of laws? Kid, let me tell you, your talent in body cultivation is definitely higher than the system of laws. Do you understand? It's a waste if you don't cultivate your physical body. Don't ruin your future. More than 10 old men panicked and tried to persuade Lu Ming. Seniors, I've already decided and one won't change my mind, but... Lu Ming rolled his eyes and a smile appeared on his face. However, I can have dual cultivation. I can cultivate both the nomological system and my physical body. Seniors, what do you think? Cultivate together. The dozen or so old men quieted down and looked at each other. Boy, the path of cultivation is extremely difficult. It takes a lot of energy to cultivate one of them. Many people can't reach the peak of one of them in their entire lives. If you want to cultivate two, I'm afraid you can't bite off more than you can chew. That's right, you won't be able to cultivate either. More than 10 old men criticized Lu Ming severely. Senior, I understand that, but I'm different from other people. With my unprecedented talent, it's definitely not a problem for me to cultivate the system of laws and the body together. Lu Ming said shamelessly. His face did not turn red, and his heart did not beat fast. This kid is simply shameless. However, what he said makes sense. With his talent, it's indeed difficult for anyone to compare with him. Are we just going to teach him the 7 Gods' mysterious technique? He doesn't specialize in physical cultivation. It's not good to teach him like this. The 7 Gods' mysterious skill is the highest secret of physical cultivation. It can be cultivated to the legendary supreme realm. In my opinion, we should ask the Grand Elder for instructions. That's right, I think so too. More than 10 old men gathered to discuss. After a while, one of them said to Lu Ming, "Kid, you wait here. Well, go and ask the Grand Elder." After saying that, the old men left. Lu Ming, you've actually cultivated the little heaven mysterious skill to perfection in a month's time. How did you do it? Honglu walked over, extremely surprised. Ren Chan also sized Lu Ming up curiously. She had cultivated it before, but she could only cultivate to the 3rd level. If she wanted to continue to improve, she would have to spend a lot of energy. She knew the difficulty. However, Lu Ming was able to cultivate it to the peak in one go. This was simply a miracle. I don't know either. One just casually cultivated for a while, and I reached perfection. Is it that difficult? Lu Ming asked in surprise. Ren Chan and Hong Lu's eyelids kept twitching, their mouths agape and tongue-tied, completely unable to speak, so depressed that they wanted to vomit blood. He was completely shocked. It's not difficult. After holding it in for a long time, Honglu squeezed out such a sentence. It should be related to the ancestral dragon's blood. Lu Ming was thinking. He felt that the reason he was able to cultivate the little heavenly mystery technique to perfection in one go was largely related to the drop of ancestral dragon blood. As he cultivated to the later stages, the energy in the ancestral dragon's blood was constantly being refined. This was how Lu Ming managed to cultivate the minor heaven mysterious skill to perfection in one go. Then, Ren Chan asked Lu Ming about the cultivation method of the minor heaven mysterious skill. They chatted while waiting. They didn't have to wait long before the dozen old men returned. Kid, we've already asked the Supreme Elder. He thinks that your talent is rare, and it would be a pity if you don't cultivate your body. So, the Supreme Elder has agreed to teach you the 7 gods' mysterious skill. Take it, one of the elders said. He then took out a roll of animal skin and handed it to Lu Ming. The cultivation method of the 7 gods' mysterious technique is recorded on it. Remember this and return this beast's skin to us. The old man said. Many thanks, Senior. Lu Ming expressed his gratitude and was overjoyed. He took the animal skin and looked at it carefully. Not long after, he had memorized all the contents of the beast's skin and returned it to the elders. Lu Ming closed his eyes and carefully comprehended the contents. The 7 gods' mysterious technique was a supreme technique in physical cultivation, and it was much more exquisite than the minor heavenly mysterious technique. The 7 gods' mysterious technique was divided into 7 levels. Each level was further divided into the early stage, middle stage, and late stage. Lu Ming spent a total of 7 days before he roughly understood the contents of the first few levels. Then he began to cultivate. Buzz, buzz. His muscles, bones, internal organs, and even every drop of blood were giving off a wonderful vibration. Waves of wonderful power seeped into every corner of Lu Ming's body and every cell. Lu Ming's physical body was undergoing a transformation. The first 2 stages of the 7 gods' mysterious technique were also for building a solid foundation. It was very similar to the later stages of the minor heaven mysterious technique. Lu Ming was very successful in cultivating the first 2 stages, and very soon he succeeded. 7 days later, Lu Ming had attained the 3rd stage of the 7 gods' mysterious technique. When the 7 gods' mysterious skill was cultivated to the 3rd level, he could compete with the Void Emperor with his physical strength alone. At the 4th level, one could fight against a true emperor with just the strength of their body. The 5th level corresponded to great emperors. The 6th level corresponded to the celestial arch, and the highest 7th level corresponded to the supreme realm. After attaining the 3rd stage, Lu Ming's cultivation speed had slowed down. He kept on circulating the 7 gods' mysterious technique, and the drop of ancestral dragon blood in his heart was constantly circulating energy throughout Lu Ming's body. As the 7 gods' mysterious technique circulated, it seeped into every cell in Lu Ming's body, continuously strengthening his physical body. Time passed day by day. Lu Ming was also constantly breaking through the early stage of the 3rd level, the middle stage, the late stage. After 2 months, Lu Ming had finally cultivated the 7 gods' mysterious technique to the late stage of the 3rd level. However, Lu Ming did not stop. He felt that he could continue to break through. In the past 2 months, Ren Chan, Hong Lu, and a dozen elders had been watching nearby. Genius, what a genius! He cultivated the 7 gods' mysterious skill to the late stage of the 3rd level in one go, and he didn't show any signs of stopping. This has never happened since ancient times. The dozen or so old men exclaimed in admiration. At this moment, a few burly men flew over with grave expressions and reported, "Elders, there's bad news. Outside the exit, where our ancestor is slumbering, a large number of alien races have gathered. They've already launched an attack, and they're very powerful. They're here. Let's go and gather all the experts." An elder's eyes were cold, and he exuded a powerful aura. In a huge stone hall, a few grand elders and more than 20 elders of the immemorial body cultivator lineage were having a meeting. However, they all looked serious and frowned. The atmosphere in the stone hall was very oppressive. At this moment, a person reported that Honglu Lu Ming and the others were requesting an audience. Let them in. One of the Grand Elders at the top spoke. The Grand Supreme Elders of the immemorial body cultivators were all powerhouses in the Heavenly Emperor realm. After a while, Lu Ming, Ren Chan and Hong Lu walked in. All eyes were on Lu Ming. Kid, what level have you reached with the 7 gods' mysterious skill? An old man asked curiously. Middle stage of the 4th level. Lu Ming answered honestly. Middle stage of the 4th level. The old men, and some middle-aged men in the stone hall widened their eyes. They knew when Lu Ming had started cultivating. It had only been a few months, and he had already cultivated the 7 gods' mysterious technique to the middle of the 4th stage. Even the elders and grand elders, who had lived for a long time, could not help but be dumbfounded at this speed. They were so shocked that they could not speak. Chapter 2306. Chapter 2305, Retreat. Chapter 2306. Chapter 2305 Retreat. Honglu was the most outstanding heaven's favorite of this generation of immemorial body cultivators, but he had also used a few decades to cultivate to the middle of the 4th level. As for Lu Ming, it had only been a few months. Good, peerless genius, peerless genius. The few elders sighed. After a while they calmed down. Why have you come to find us? One of the grand elders asked with a smile. Seniors, now that the outsiders have set their eyes on this place, they will definitely not let this place go. If this continues, the battle will be very unfavorable. Lu Ming said. We know this as well. Do you have any countermeasures? One of the grand elders said. Charge out, leave this place. Otherwise, this place will be broken through sooner or later. At that time, no one will be able to escape. Lu Ming said, directly expressing his thoughts. Leave this place. Everyone in the stone hall paled. We immemorial body cultivators have been living in seclusion here ever since we were defeated in the immemorial era. We've lived here for countless years, and have already taken root here. You want us to abandon this place? One of the burly men said. The others were also silent. Indeed, their bloodline had lived here for countless years. Who would be willing to give it up just like that? Seniors, it's not that I'm looking down on the strength of the body cultivators, but the foreign tribes are too powerful. Only a small portion of them are attacking from the outside. In the ancient times, the heaven realm was extremely prosperous. Strong people gathered, and the invincible strong people dominated the world. But in the end, it was still broken through and countless strong people died in battle. Of the 9 heavens regions, only the Tai Ching heaven region is left, barely holding on. If the alien races send some powerful cultivators from the battlefield of the Tai Ching heavenly region, we will definitely not be able to defend it. Lu Ming advised. The people from the immemorial body cultivator lineage had grave expressions, as they thought seriously. They also understood that Lu Ming was right. Their branch was only one of the branches of the ancient body cultivators. Their strength was far from comparable to the ancient body cultivators at their peak during the ancient era. However, the body cultivators of the primordial age, who were at their peak, had still been defeated by the nomological system. Later on, after many years of development, the nomological system flourished to the extreme, but it was still broken through by the alien races. It could be seen how strong the alien races were. They would definitely not be able to withstand it. There's actually another exit in this pocket dimension. If you want to retreat, you can retreat from the other exit. After a long time, a grand elder spoke, his voice filled with helplessness. There's another exit? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. This was much better than rushing out. Everyone, what do you say? Should we retreat? The grand elder who spoke earlier looked at the others. I agree to retreat. I also agree. Our bloodline can't be cut off like this. I agree. The remaining elders and grand elders all expressed their willingness to retreat. Only a few people were silent and unwilling. I have a question. Our small world has such a large population. How do we bring them out when we retreat? One of them asked. That's easy. Those in our nomological system can condense a small world when they reach the true emperor realm. Even a 1-star true emperor can condense a small world with a radius of 100,000 miles, which is enough to bring everyone out. Ren said. Then where do we go after we retreat? One of the burly men asked. To the Taiqing heavenly region, one of the grand elders said. Taiqing heavenly region? This time, not only were many of the elders of the Archean body cultivators stunned, but even Lu Ming and Ren were stunned. Could it be that there was a way to get to the Taiqing heavenly region from the 10,000 spirit heavenly region? If there was, why didn't the alien races discover it after so many years? How can I go to the Taiqing heavenly region? The eyes of many elders lit up. It would be great if he could go to the Taiqing heavenly region. There's an ancient book in our physical cultivation sect. It says that if you start from the yellow spring in the 9 nether heavenly domain, you can reach the passage between the Taiqing heavenly domain and the Hunyuan heavenly domain. According to Lu Ming, the passage between the Taiqing heavenly region and the Hunyuan heavenly region has become a battlefield. As long as we get there, we can enter the two-world city and enter the Taiqing heavenly region. Another grand elder said, doesn't that mean that we have to go to the netherworld realm first? Someone said, this is the only plan now. One of the grand elders said, seniors, this is totally possible. There is a passage connecting the 9 nether heavenly domain and the 10,000 spirit heavenly domain. As long as we rush through the passage and enter the 9 nether heavenly domain, we can reach the netherworld and then head to the Taiqing heavenly domain. Moreover, the alien tribe's cultivation energy is different from ours. In the heaven realm, although they can also absorb the original qi for cultivation, the speed is very slow and the efficiency of refining it is very low. Therefore, except for the battlefield in the Taiqing heaven, the alien tribes in the other heaven regions are not many. With your strength, you can kill your way to the netherworld. Ren said. His words made everyone's eyes light up. Alright, well, do that then. I'll have to trouble you to put everyone below the martial supreme realm into the small world, and then retreat. One of the grand elders announced and gave the order. Immediately, everyone got into action. The people who cultivated the nomological law system started to move. They kept all the people in the small world into the small world, leaving those above the martial supreme realm outside. After so many years of development, the population of the immemorial body cultivator lineage had already reached tens of billions. However, this was not a problem at all. A small world of a one-star true emperor was 100,000 miles in radius. A great emperor's small world had a radius of 1,000,000 miles, and it was a piece of cake for it to contain tens of billions of people. After a few days, the people in this small world and all the resources had been collected. At this moment they began to retreat. However, they still left a group of people to guard the exit and control some zombies to fight against the alien races. There was no other way. Someone had to stay behind, or the alien races would find out. Those who stayed behind would die without a doubt. Meanwhile, all the martial supremes and above from the body cultivators had brought a portion of the powerful zombies to the other side of the small world. There was another exit here. They passed through this exit and came outside out of the land of dusk. Then, they flew toward the passage in the netherworld realm at top speed. However, they still ran into some alien races on the way. Although these foreign races had been easily killed by the ancient body cultivators, they were still weak. However, there were still some alien races who managed to spread the news before they died. The foreign races in the land of dusk received the news and were furious. They launched a fierce attack on the depths of the land of dusk. The Archean body cultivators who were left behind to cover the retreat were naturally no match, and were all killed in the end. When the foreign races rushed into the small world of the Archean body cultivators and found that they were all gone, they were furious and ordered all the foreign races in the 10,000 spirit heavenly region to surround and kill the Archean body cultivators. However, it was too late. Chapter 2307. The Sky Reaching Warship. Chapter 2307. The Sky-Reaching Warship. Lu Ming's group was very fast. Together with some Archean body cultivators, they were very powerful. Although they encountered some foreign tribes blocking them, the foreign tribes that had gathered in a hurry were no match for them. They were easily killed. A few days later, They arrived at the passageway between 10,000 spirit heavenly domain and abysmal heavenly domain. The passageway here was very vast, similar to that between Taiqing heavenly realm and Hunyuan heavenly realm. However, there weren't many foreign races guarding this place. Other than the Taiqing heavenly region, the other 8 heavenly regions were all under the control of the foreign tribes. They naturally did not need to leave too many people to guard these passages. Without much resistance, they broke through the passage and rushed to the netherworld realm. Abysmal heavenly domain was the legendary netherworld. It was filled with the chi of the netherworld and was an extremely powerful heavenly domain in ancient times. The name of the netherworld shook the heavenly realm, and experts were as numerous as clouds. In the end, it was still broken through by the foreign races, and the experts suffered heavy casualties. The legendary Yellow Spring and the Bridge of Helplessness were both in the 9 Serenities heavenly domain. Back then, when Lu Ming entered the tomb of the reincarnation emperor, he had seen the netherworld helplessness. It was the 9 lives devilish silkworm, created based on the netherworld helplessness of the 9 nether realm. There were many ancient books among the body cultivators that recorded many secrets, including the territory of the 9 nether heavenly region. After they entered the 9 nether heavenly domain, they rushed towards the Yellow Spring. Along the way, they encountered some other races, but they were easily defeated. The 9 nether heavenly domain was very vast. Although it was not as big as the Taiqing heavenly domain, it was not much different. After flying for several days, a large river stretched across the land in front of them. The river was extremely wide, and one could not see the other side at a glance. The water in the river was yellow, sticky, and filled with a nauseating stench. This was the netherworld. It was said that the water of the Yellow Spring had a terrifying corrosive, devouring, and cursing power. Once they fell into the Yellow Spring, only death awaited them. It was said that even the heavenly emperor realm powerhouses would be in danger if they fell into the Yellow Spring. As for the Yellow Spring, no one knew how long it was. No one really knew. No one knew where the source was, and no one knew where it flowed. Some people walked along the Yellow Spring and found that the Yellow Spring flowed into the eternal void. Along the void, it would pass through the passage between the Taiqing heavenly realm and the Hunyuan heavenly realm, which was the current battlefield. This was their hope, and they were going to advance along the Yellow Springs. Kill! A dense crowd of alien races had gathered by the Yellow Spring River, and they were charging toward them. Not good. It seems that the foreign tribes have guessed that we are coming to the Yellow Springs, and have gathered a large number of experts here. Someone's expression changed. Kill them from the other side. One of the grand elders of the immemorial body cultivators shouted, and everyone rushed in another direction. However, not long after, a large number of foreign races also came from that direction. Charge! A grand elder shouted, and everyone rushed over. They were already at the edge of the Yellow Spring. There was only hope if they rushed over. The powerhouses from both sides collided fiercely. On Lu Ming's side, everyone below the rank of a martial supreme had been kept into the small world. Those who were left outside were all powerhouses above the rank of a martial supreme, with some of the strongest body cultivators, the Grand Supreme Elders as the vanguard. They were like a sharp blade, charging into the non-humankind army. Countless alien races were killed and exploded. However, there were also powerhouses in the alien race, including those in the Heavenly Emperor realm. The Heavenly Emperor realm was too terrifying. Once they made a move, they could destroy the world. Lu Ming and the group's attacks were immediately blocked, and their speed slowed down. Behind them, a large number of alien races charged forward, and the two sides were engaged in a bloody battle. Kill! Lu Ming roared and went berserk. The 9 types of laws covered Lu Ming's body. At the same time, Lu Ming activated the imperishable golden body. The inextinguishable golden body, coupled with Lu Ming's current physical strength, burst out with infinite power. Lu Ming completely ignored his defense. Like a war beast, he charged into the alien races and punched out with both fists. With every punch, at least a few alien races were blown up by Lu Ming. As long as he was not a great emperor, no matter what rank true emperor he was, he would be killed in an instant by Lu Ming. Even if it was a rank 18 true emperor, it was the same. Lu Ming was now truly invincible among true emperors. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming had already killed countless alien races, and his body was bathed in their blood. Slowly, they broke through the non-humankind's defense and came to the shore of the Yellow Spring. "Bring out the Heavenspan battleship," one of the Grand Elders shouted. At the same time, he waved his hand, and a battleship flew out, floating above the Yellow Spring. "You guys control the ancestral battle bodies to defend against the alien races. We're going to activate the Sky Warship." A voice spread in all directions. Boom. Following that, the Grand Supreme Elder's body rumbled as a stream of vital energy, and blood gushed out, and entered the sky-reaching warship. Buzz! The warship trembled and buzzed. A terrifying aura emanated from it as it rapidly grew in size. It was impossible to leave the Yellow Springs without a powerful treasure. Once a person entered the Netherworld and touched the water of the Netherworld, only death awaited them. Even the Celestial Arch would be in danger. Only by relying on the ancestral treasure of the immemorial body cultivators, the sky-reaching battleship, could one enter the Netherworld and ride on the sky-reaching battleship to the eternal void. Boom! Boom! Following that, a few more Grand Supreme Elders who were body cultivators stimulated their blood chi and surged it into the sky-reaching battleship. The trembling of the sky-reaching battleship became more and more intense, and its entire body glowed as it rapidly expanded. "Stop them! Kill! Kill! Kill!" the alien race members roared. They charged over from all directions. There were 5 to 6 foreign races who were astonishingly powerful. They were all powerhouses of the Heavenly Emperor realm. They walked in the air, emitting terrifying fluctuations. With a single blow, the heavens and earth would shatter. Their power was unimaginable. "Block it!" Some of the elders of the immemorial body cultivators roared. They were no match for them, so they could only rely on those zombies. They controlled the zombies and charged forward. Some of the zombies had the battle strength of the Heavenly Emperor realm, and were able to resist the Heavenly Emperor of the alien race. However, they were outnumbered and were suppressed the moment they met. Bang! Bang! Some of the Great Emperor realm zombies were hit by the non-human Heavenly Emperor and exploded in the air. But now, he had no choice but to sacrifice these zombies to buy time for the Grand Elder. Buzz! After a while, the sky-reaching warship expanded to tens of thousands of meters in size and landed on the Yellow Spring River. "Get on the sky-connecting battleship. We'll cover you," one of the Grand Elders roared and charged over to fight with the non-human Celestial Emperor. The other Grand Elders also rushed over. As for those with weaker cultivation bases, they charged towards the Heavenspan battleship. This was especially so for those who cultivated nomological laws. As their small worlds had a large population, the Archean body cultivators protected them and allowed them to board the sky-reaching warship first. Lu Ming, Ren Chan, and the rest also boarded the warship. Then, the others boarded the warship one after another. Only the Grand Supreme Elder and some powerful zombies fought with the other party. Instead, it flowed into the void. A river that wasn't on the ground, but connected to the void was truly shocking. Everyone looked on in a daze. He couldn't help but sigh at the wonders of the heavens and earth. The sky-reaching warship followed the Yellow Spring River and sailed into the void. They looked around and saw the dark void in all directions. The Yellow Spring River was like a passage, and they had no idea where it flowed to. At this point, all the Grand Elders perked up. It was recorded in the ancient books that the Yellow Spring River would pass through the battlefield between the Taiching Heavenly Region and the Hunyuan Heavenly Region. They had to concentrate and seize the fleeting opportunity to get out of here. Time passed day by day. They had no idea how far they had traveled in the dark void. The place was silent, as if it was eternal. "Look, what's that?" Suddenly, someone exclaimed and looked ahead in shock. The others also looked over. "That's..." Lu Ming was also shocked at what he saw. His eyes widened. In front of the Yellow Spring River, at an unknown distance, a mountain emerged. The mountain was in front of them, but no one was wrong. There was really a mountain. There's actually a huge mountain above the Yellow Spring River. I've never heard of it. An old man sighed. He was the Grand Elder of Body Cultivators, but he had never heard of such a thing. There was no such saying in the rumors about the Yellow Spring River in the past. There were mountains on the Yellow Spring River? The Heavenspan battleship continued forward, but the mountain was still floating in front of it. It didn't seem to be getting any closer. Could it be that that is the end of the Yellow Springs? Someone mumbled. The others were shocked. The end of the Yellow Springs was a mountain? This sounded really outrageous. We're here, attack. At this moment a Grand Elder roared. His blood and chi were in turmoil as he threw a punch at the void to his right. The power of this punch was shockingly strong. As it was thrown out, the space exploded continuously like paper. At the same time, the other Supreme Elders also made their moves, constantly blasting in that direction. With so many experts attacking at the same time, the power was terrifying. The space was completely torn apart, and the situation outside could be seen. Outside it was a deathly silent land. The battlefield. It's that battlefield. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He could tell that it was the battlefield between the Taiqing Heavenly Region and the Hunyuan Heavenly Region. He could not be wrong. As expected, the Yellow Spring River would pass through the battlefield between the Taiqing Heavenly Region and the Hunyuan Heavenly Region. The distance between this place and the battlefield was very thin, and it was forcibly opened by several Supreme Elders. Let's go! A Grand Supreme Elder was steering the sky-reaching battleship toward the spatial gap. The cracks in the space were healing on their own. The other Grand Elders kept bombarding the cracks in the space. Boom, boom, boom. The sky-reaching warship successfully left the Yellow Spring River and rushed into the gap. Not long after, the Heavenspan battleship charged out of the spatial gap and landed on a piece of land, stirring up a cloud of dust. I'm back. Lu Ming sensed it carefully and was overjoyed. This was definitely the battlefield. After going around in a big circle, Lu Ming returned to the battlefield again and brought back a large number of experts. With the addition of this group of Archean body cultivators, the strength of Two World City would also increase. Brother Lu Ming, we will follow you now. One of the Grand Supreme Elders waved his hand, and the heaven-connecting battleship shrunk rapidly. He put it away and smiled at Lu Ming. Chapter 2309. The Lan Family's Banquet. Chapter 2309. The Lan Family's Banquet. Everyone's gaze was on Lu Ming. None of them had been to the Taiqing Heavenly Region or the battlefield before. Naturally, they had to rely on Lu Ming. Seniors, follow me. Lu Ming identified the direction and headed in the direction of Two World City. The rest of the people followed him. The battlefield they were in was not the battlefield of the illusionary emperors, the battlefield of the true emperors, or the battlefield of the great sovereigns. It was an ordinary battlefield. Their auras were too powerful as they charged through the air with astonishing might. On the way, some alien races encountered them, and their expressions changed. They turned and ran, but they were killed with a single punch by the Archean body cultivator. They had encountered several waves of foreign races, but they were all killed by the enraged immemorial body cultivators. Right now, all of the Archean body cultivators were furious. Because of the foreign races, they had lost their homes and ancestral lands. Naturally, they were furious. Not long after, Two World City finally appeared in front of them. Thump. Boom. When Lu Ming and the rest approached, deafening war drums reverberated above Two World City. On the city walls, there was a flash of light, and figures appeared one after another. It was obvious that the experts above Two World City had already discovered them. However, there were too many of them, and many of their auras were too strong. This naturally raised the alert of Two World City. Everyone were on the same side. Were the living beings of the heaven realm. Someone shouted, "Who are you people?" A voice rang out from Two World City. The people in Two World City were also very surprised. Although there were many heaven realm creatures on the battlefield outside the Two World City, there were not as many of them. Furthermore, some of them had extremely strong auras, and they were all unfamiliar to him. This was shocking. "Everyone, I'm Lu Ming." At this moment, Lu Ming walked out and said loudly, "What? Lu Ming? The people in Two World City were clearly shocked. Didn't Lu Ming die? He actually appeared again. Could it be that he's not dead and the rumors are false? Then who are those people beside him? The Two World City was abuzz with discussion. Everyone, these are our own people. Open the formation and let us in. Lu Ming said loudly. Lu Ming, you can come in, but we need to report the others. We don't know where they come from. If we let them in rashly, we can't bear the consequences if something happens. A tall and sturdy man said. 111 take responsibility. At this moment, a voice came from Two World City. As soon as the voice fell, a few figures appeared on the Two World City. The leader was the Hung Yu Heavenly Emperor. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu looked at Lu Ming, his face filled with joy. They're all humans or divine beasts from the heaven realm. They're definitely not from the foreign races. Activate the formation and let them in. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu said. Yes, the others obeyed. The Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor was a Heavenly Emperor, and not an ordinary one at that. His combat strength was extremely powerful, second only to those at the Heavenly Venerable rank. No one dared to disobey his orders. Soon, the light shield outside Two World City began to ripple, and a huge gap appeared. Enter. Lu Ming was the first to rush in. The others followed suit. Not long after, everyone had entered Two World City. The light shield outside the Two World City closed up again. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, I knew you would be fine. There were rumors that you were dead, but one didn't believe it at all. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu walked over and laughed heartily. He was extremely happy. Then he looked at the Archean body cultivator, Ren Chan, and the others and asked, Lu Ming, who are they? The Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor was extremely shocked, because some of them made his heart palpitate, and he felt a strong pressure. He had never seen these people before, which made him quite shocked and curious. They're from 10,000 Spirit Heavenly Region. They're from the Immemorial Body Cultivators. Lu Ming gave a brief introduction. At the same time, he told them about his experience. The Immemorial Body Cultivator lineage. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu's pupils contracted as he cupped his fists at the Supreme Elders of the Archean Body Cultivator. Hung Yu. Greetings, fellow Taoists. You're welcome. The old body cultivator also nodded politely. Lu Ming, one didn't expect that you would come to the 10,000 spirit realm when there were rumors that you had died. It's amazing. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu sighed. Senior Hung Yu, were the people who said one had died from the Lan family or the Yin family? Lu Ming said, a cold glint flashing in his eyes. That's right. They also said that you killed your fellow cultivators in the heaven realm for treasures. They saw you and wanted to take you down, but they accidentally rushed into a broken small world, and that small world collapsed in the end. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu said, Hee, the Lan family and the Yin family are really shameless. They were the ones who wanted to kill me and take my indestructible ancient scroll. They also killed the people in the heaven realm and put the blame on me. Lu Ming's voice was cold. He was filled with killing intent at the thought of Bai Tai's death. I knew it. As expected, the Lan and Yin families are doing very well. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu was also enraged upon hearing this, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Since I've returned, I must take revenge. I'll make a trip to the Lan family and the Yin family. Lu Ming said coldly. Even if it wasn't for anything else, he must avenge Bai Tai's death. He wouldn't let off a single one of those who had attacked him. Lu Ming, the Lan family and the Yin family are not in Two World City now. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu said. Not in Two World City. Lu Ming was puzzled. That's right. The headquarters of the Lan family and the Yin family are not in the Two World City, but in the central region of the Tai-Ching Heavenly Region. The Two World City is just their station. In the past 2 years, the alien races have stopped their attacks, and the number of wars has decreased. Therefore, some of the experts of the Lan family and the Yin family are not here. Recently, Lan Xia, the pride of the Lan family, is going to marry Xianyuan Yi. They'll hold a grand banquet and countless experts will gather in the Lan family. They'll all be in the central region of the Tai-Ching Heavenly Region. Heavenly Emperor Hung Yu explained. Lan Xia and Xianyuan Yi, 2 of the 9 absolutes. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. He had heard of these two names before. They were two of the 9 absolutes of the Heaven Realm's younger generation. They were both peerless geniuses, especially Xianyuan Yi, who was ranked second among the 9 absolutes. Many people said that he had the chance to become the first among the 9 absolutes and stand at the peak of the younger generation in the Tianyuan world. Lan Xia is the proud daughter of the Lan family and Lan Yun's elder sister. Her marriage with Xianyuan Yi can be said to be a powerful alliance and has attracted everyone's attention. I heard that the Lan family has invited most of the Heaven Realm's proud children. There will be a grand event. Heavenly Emperor Hengyu said. When will they get married? Lu Ming asked. Half a month later. Heavenly Emperor Hengyu said. Chapter 2310. Chapter 2310. Returning to Primal Chaos. Chapter 2310. Chapter 2310. Returning to Primal Chaos Palace. In half a month? The Lan and Yin families will have to pay the price eventually. Lu Ming muttered, his voice getting colder and colder. Lu Ming, don't act rashly. The Lan family is by no means comparable to ordinary forces. The Lan family is an extremely ancient family, with a deep foundation and many experts. There's not only a heavenly emperor in Lan City. It's said that the Lan family also has an old ancestor, who's a peerless powerhouse in the 4-star Heavenly Emperor realm. Heavenly Emperor Hengyu said with a serious expression. However, Lu Ming's eyes were firm and he was unmoved. In addition, the Lan family has existed for countless years and is on good terms with many major forces. For example, the Yin family. The Yin family is just an ordinary major force. They have a celestial Varch in charge and have a marriage relationship with the Lan family. The two families are very close. In addition, there are many forces similar to the Yin family who are on good terms with the Lan family. This time they will all rush over. If you rush over, I'm afraid you will suffer a great loss. So if you want to go, you must be careful. If you really want to go, I'll go with you. However, the other celestial emperors of the primordial realm have to guard 2 world city, so I'm afraid they can't leave. The Hengyu Heavenly Emperor explained the structure of the Lan family's forces and their general strength to Lu Ming. However, seeing the determination in Lu Ming's eyes, he knew that Lu Ming had already made up his mind and had agreed to go with him. Many thanks, Senior Hengyu. Thank you. Lu Ming expressed his gratitude. If I want to go, I naturally have to be confident. After saying this, he walked towards the supreme elders of the immemorial body cultivators and cupped his fists. Seniors, this junior has a matter that he would like to ask you for help with. If there's anything you need our old bones for, just say it. An old man laughed heartily. He was very forthright. I would like to invite the few seniors to follow me to a place. Lu Ming told her that he was going to the Lan family. No problem. The supreme elders of the Archean body cultivators agreed. Ever since Lu Ming had displayed his unparalleled talent in physical cultivation, they had regarded him highly. Moreover, it was all thanks to Lu Ming that they were able to enter 2 World City this time. If Lu Ming was in trouble, they would naturally help him. The Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor also smiled. He knew that these old men were extremely terrifying. With their help, their chances of success would be much greater. Lu Ming, it'll help them arrange a place to stay. Heavenly Emperor Hengyu said. Senior Hengyu, is there any place that's vast and uninhabited? This time, quite a few body cultivators have come, and they're all in our small world. Lu Ming said. Oh, how many people are there? Heavenly Emperor Hengyu asked. About 30 billion people. Lu Ming said. Oh, only 30 billion? That's easy. There's a vast uninhabited mountain range not far from 2 World City. It's enough for them to live in. Heavenly Emperor Hengyu pondered for a moment before he thought of a place. 30 billion people seemed like a lot, but to the vast territory of the Taiching Heaven, it was just a drop in the ocean. The population of the Taiching Heavenly region was simply uncountable. Any small region would have more than tens of billions of people. Not long after, they set out and came to a vast and boundless mountain range. This mountain range stretched for millions of miles and accommodated 30 billion people. At once, Lu Ming and the people from the small world moved their minds, and a large number of people appeared in the mountain range. Then, an archaic body cultivator went up to make arrangements. Everyone cut down wood, moved stone, and repaired the houses. Most of the immemorial body cultivators were extremely powerful, so it was extremely easy for them to do this. He believed that in a few days, they would be able to completely settle down here. Ren Chan and the others also chose a place to settle down. Their eyes were somewhat sad. Their small world had a large population, but now, not many had come. Many had died in battle. In particular, some of the top experts were not here. Lu Ming discussed with the Hung Yu Heavenly Emperor and the rest. They decided that it would not be too late to visit the Lan family in a few days. Lu Ming returned to Two World City and met Mulan. Mulan was naturally overjoyed to see Lu Ming. The two of them reminisced for a while before Lu Ming returned to his residence, planning to have a good rest. I wonder if the Primal Chaos Hall can be contacted now. Lu Ming then thought of the Chaos Hall and took out the Primordial Chaos token. He didn't expect the Mixed Energy token to move. Lu Ming was overjoyed, and he channeled the world energy into it. Buzz! The Primordial Chaos token vibrated, and a beam of light appeared, enveloping Lu Ming. Then, Lu Ming's figure disappeared from the spot. Lu Ming seemed to be traveling through the void. That feeling was as if he was taking a long-distance teleportation array. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at a hall. It was the Primal Chaos Palace. As soon as Lu Ming appeared, there was a flash of light in the Chaos Palace. There were a total of 9 figures, each of them emitting different colors. Earth 1, Gold 1. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Greetings, young master. Earth 1, Gold 1. And the rest bowed to Lu Ming. Seniors, there's no need to be so polite. Lu Ming quickly waved his hands. Courtesy cannot be disregarded. Young master has already defeated Yuan Xian, the son of chaos. Furthermore, you have become a great emperor with many types of nomological laws, and even mastered many types of ultimate laws. Such talent is unprecedented. In the future, you will be the master of the Chaos Palace and our young master. Earth 1 said with a serious expression. You guys, have you heard of me? Lu Ming asked curiously. Of course. The Primal Chaos Palace is in the Taiqing Heavenly Region. The young master's reputation has spread throughout the Taiqing Heavenly Region. Of course, we've heard of him. Earth 1 said with a smile. The Primal Chaos Hall is in the Taiqing Heavenly Region? Then why couldn't I contact you guys before? Lu Ming asked curiously. The Primal Chaos Hall was in the Taiqing Heavenly Region. This wasn't hard to guess. Back then, he was able to enter the Primal Chaos Hall from the Origin Continent. It wasn't hard to guess that the Primal Chaos Hall was in the Taiqing Heavenly Region. That was because only the Taiqing Heavenly Region had a passageway that was connected to the Yuan continent. Hunyuan sect was probably also in the Taiqing Heavenly Region. Lu Ming was curious. Previously, he could not contact Earth 1 and the rest. Now he could contact them. Young Lord, there are 2 battlefields in the Taiqing Heavenly Region. The Chaotic Palace is near one of them. More than 10 years ago, the foreign races suddenly launched a large-scale invasion. An intense battle broke out on that battlefield. We brought the Primal Chaos Palace to participate in the battle and cut off the outside world's senses. That's why you didn't attack us. Tui explained. The other 8 people also nodded. Lu Ming had a sudden realization. So that was the case. Recently, the alien races had not invaded. Therefore, Lu Ming could contact Earth 1 and the rest again. Seniors, one would like to ask you about the Chaos Scripture, Lu Ming asked. The Chaos Scripture that he had seemed to be incomplete. Young Master, the Chaos Sutra you have is indeed incomplete. There's only the part before you become a Divine Emperor. The part after you become a Divine Emperor was supposed to be given to you after you become a Divine Emperor. But now that you've become a true Divine Emperor, it's natural that one give it to you. Young Master, follow me. With that, Tui walked in one direction. Lu Ming followed him and came to a secret room. Chapter 2311. Chapter 2311. Heading to the Lan family. Chapter 2311. Chapter 2311, Heading to the Land Family in the Secret Room. A figure sat cross-legged in the air. It was the figure of the Chaos Arch. As soon as Lu Ming entered, the figure turned into a ray of light and rushed into the space between Lu Ming's eyebrows. Instantly, a message appeared in Lu Ming's mind. The Chaos Scripture. Lu Ming muttered. This piece of information was the latter part of the Chaos Scripture. It recorded the derivations of the Chaos Scripture, a series of superpowers, and the combination of various laws. Among them, the laws of chaos were the main. Lu Ming sat cross-legged and comprehended it in detail. The Chaos Scripture contains 18 types of laws, which is similar to the indestructible ancient scroll. Unfortunately, it only focuses on one type of chaos law, which is not suitable for me. However, there are many things in it that one can learn from. Lu Ming pondered. The Chaos Scripture contained 18 laws. Among the 18 types of laws, Lu Ming only had 4 of them. In the future, if Lu Ming wanted to master more laws, he could deduce other laws based on the Chaos Scripture. It would be faster than comprehending them alone. Also, Lu Ming could try to cultivate some of the divine abilities in order to increase his means of fighting his enemies. Of course, Lu Ming's main cultivation direction still had to rely on himself to comprehend and explore. After all, he controlled many ultimate maxims. If he wanted to exert the strongest power of these maxims, he had to explore on his own. After all, since ancient times, no one had mastered multiple ultimate maxims at the same time. A day later, Lu Ming stopped his comprehension. He was not in a hurry now. When he had time in the future, he would choose a few magical power techniques to cultivate. Lu Ming returned to the main hall where Earth 1 and the other 9 were waiting. Tui, what's your cultivation level? Lu Ming asked curiously. The 9 of us belong to 9 different elements, and we are all in the Heavenly Emperor realm. Tui replied. Heavens! The Celestial Emperor? Lu Ming started to nod subconsciously. However, he immediately came to his senses, and his mouth was wide open. He was dumbfounded. Earth 1 Gold 1, Wood 1. There were a total of 9 people, and they were all in the form of puppets. Lu Ming had previously thought that Earth 1 and the rest might be at the Great Emperor realm. He had even thought that they might be peak Great Emperors. However, he had never expected that they were all at the Heavenly Emperor realm. 9 Heavenly Emperors? What kind of terrifying power was this? The Primal Chaos Hall was only one of the 9 great halls of the Hunyuan sect. Even if the Primal Chaos Emperor was extremely powerful, it was still shocking to see 9 Heavenly Emperor realm puppets. From this, it could be seen how shocking the Hunyuan sect's strength was at its peak. Good, that's great. Lu Ming was overjoyed. With the help of Earth 1 and the rest, he was like a tiger that had grown wings. Primal Chaos Hall. Is there anyone else other than you? Lu Ming asked again. Yes, but they're all puppets. There are 1,000 of us in each of the 9 elements. Our names are from 1 to 1,000, from the Martial Royal Realm to the Heavenly Emperor Realm. Earth 1 said. Lu Ming nodded. Back then, Tui had sent Tu Qian to follow him to the Divine Wilderness Continent. Even now, Tu Qian was still guarding the Divine Wilderness Continent. Seniors, I'll go back first. One have something that one need your help with. In few days, I'll go to the Land Family in the central region of the Taiqing Heavenly Region. Lu Ming told them about the Land Family and invited Earth 1 and the rest to help. Earth 1 and the rest naturally agreed. Lu Ming was overjoyed. With Earth 1 and the rest helping him, he would definitely make the Land Family pay the price this time. After that, a wave of energy enveloped his body. Not long after, Lu Ming returned to his original place. It seems like there's something similar to a teleportation array on the mixed energy token. As long as it's activated, it'll activate the teleportation array on it. Lu Ming thought to himself. In the next few days, Lu Ming did not cultivate. He had a good rest. A few days later, Lu Ming, the Hengyu Heavenly Emperor, and the 4 Grand Supreme Elders of the Archean Body Cultivators headed for the central part of the Taiqing Heavenly Region with Lu Ming. The Taiqing Heavenly Region was vast and boundless, not smaller than the entire Yuan continent. It was roughly divided into 5 regions: north, south, east, west, and central. The Lan family was in the central region. The Hongyu Heavenly Emperor brought Lu Ming along. With the speed of the Heavenly Emperors, they arrived at the Blue Moon City, where the Lan family was located, in a few hours. Blue Moon City was an ancient city that completely belonged to the Lan family. This was the Lan family's headquarters. The Lan family had been rooted here for countless years. During this period of time, Blue Moon City was unusually lively and packed with people. The marriage of the Lan family's proud daughter of heaven and the second-ranked genius of the 9 uniques was a big event. Moreover, they heard that the Lan family had invited a large number of geniuses. Many people guessed that there would be a grand event, so they naturally came to watch the fun. The Eternal Universe Heavenly Emperor and the others concealed their auras and walked into the Blue Moon City like ordinary people. They found an inn and asked for information. There are so many Heaven's favorites this time. Most of the famous Heaven's favorites from the primordial realm are here. The Lan family actually has such a big face to be able to invite so many Heaven's favorites? Someone asked. What do you know? It's been a long time since the Heaven realm has had such a grand event. Since the selection of the 9 uniques more than a decade ago, some of the top Heaven's favorites haven't fought with each other. This time, one can take advantage of this opportunity to fight with each other. Also, I heard that the Lan family has paid a huge price this time. Whoever can get first place this time will be rewarded with Lu Chaos Gems. What? Lu Chaos Gems, what a great deal. Many people were shocked. The Lan family actually wanted to take out Lu Chaos Gems as a reward for the first place. This was definitely a big deal. Back then, outside Two World City, Lu Ming had captured the prince of the other party in exchange for 100 Chaos Gems. The Lan family has really put in a lot of effort. Does the Lan family want to push Xianyuan Yi to the throne of number 1? That's right. Xianyuan Yi is ambitious and has long wanted to challenge Lin Xiaofeng and take the first place. Chapter 2312. Chapter 2311. Head of the 9 Absolutes. Chapter 2312. Chapter 2311. Head of the 9 Absolutes. With Lu Ming's current cultivation base, no one in the Great Emperor realm would be able to tell that he had cast the Divine Breath technique. Even the ordinary Heavenly Emperor level figures could only see that Lu Ming was in disguise. They could not see through his real appearance. Lu Ming did not plan to reveal his true form right from the start. If he did, the Lan family would definitely not let him get the 100 Stones of Chaos. He had to change his identity and get the Chaos Gem first. The Hongyu Heavenly Emperor went first, followed by him and the few body cultivators. Not long after, Lu Ming and the rest arrived at a square. The square was hundreds of miles long and wide, but it was already filled with feasts. Many people were casually sitting at the banquet. Guys, look over there. That's the prodigy area. On the side, people were chatting. Lu Ming looked over and noticed that there was an area to the north of the square where many young talents were seated. Long Chun, Phoenix Spirit, Desolate Power, and Bubbles. Lu Ming swept his gaze and saw many familiar faces. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Apart from Bubbles, he had not seen the others for many years. However, now was not the time to reminisce. It would not be too late to reminisce after this matter. At the same time, Lu Ming also saw other people. For example, the Eternal Star River, Yuan Xian, Bao de Ao Tian Ming. Most of the top geniuses of the primordial realm had come. The others were all from the Heaven realm, such as those who had followed Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin to the primordial realm during the Battle of the 10 Lands. At this moment, Lu Ming realized that there were countless banquets in the square, and they were divided into many different areas. The place they were sitting in was just an ordinary area. Lu Ming did not mind and waited quietly. Look, it's one of the 9 Absolutes, the Black Tortoise Forest. There's also Fu Lu and Wang Yi. Suddenly someone exclaimed. Lu Ming looked up at the sky. A few figures were flying in the air, full of a high and mighty attitude. They looked down at the crowd and landed in the area where the young geniuses were. Lu Ming had seen a few of them before. Black Tortoise Forest, Bald Youth Fu Lu. They were all Heaven's favorites among the 9 Absolutes. Their talents were shocking, and their future achievements were unimaginable. It's Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaofeng really came. Immediately after, there was an even greater uproar. Almost everyone's eyes were on a young man in the sky. Lin Xiaofeng was ranked first among the 9 uniques. In the past, he was the strongest Heaven's Pride expert in the Heaven realm. He stood at the peak of countless Heaven's Pride experts, and was invincible. He was also someone Xianyuan he had always wanted to defeat. Lin Xiaofeng, dressed in black and carrying a long knife on his back, landed in the area of the younger generation with a cold face. Brother Lin! Brother Lin! Many people went up to say hello to Lin Xiaofeng. Lin Xiaofeng nodded slightly in response, then sat there, and closed his eyes to rest. Many people were excited. Lin Xiaofeng was here. This time, he would definitely have a duel with Xianyuan Yi to determine the winner. More than a decade ago, the two of them had a clash and had a battle of their best. In the end, Lin Xiaofeng won and defeated Xianyuan Yi. Xianyuan Yi had always wanted to defeat Lin Xiaofeng and prove that he was the best in the world. This time, the Lan family had mobilized so many people and had really taken out 100 chaos gems to push Xianyuan Yi to the peak. They were very confident. Therefore, many people wanted to know who would win this time. The Yin clan's celestial emperor has descended. The heavenly emperor of the Luo clan has descended. The lord of the vast expanse hall has arrived. At this time, voices spread across the entire area. Everyone fell silent. The heavenly emperor descended, and all living beings were silent. In the sky, many figures stepped on the air and arrived. From the east, the heavenly emperor of the Yin clan was leading the experts of the Yin clan. From the west, the heavenly emperor of the Luo clan arrived with his experts. These celestial emperors and the powerhouses who had come with them descended in the northernmost area. That was the VIP area, and only those of high status could sit there. These forces were all on good terms with the Lan family. For example, the Yin family and the Luo family were all related to the Lan family by marriage. After that, more and more powerful forces descended. Some of them even sent a heavenly emperor. During this period of time, the foreign tribes had retreated and did not attack again, which was why these heavenly emperors had the time to come here. Ha ha, thank you all for coming. I'm sorry I didn't come out to welcome you. At this moment a loud laugh was heard. Then, a group of people flew over from the depths of Blue Moon City. The leader of the group was the Lan family's master, the heavenly emperor powerhouse Lan Cheng. Behind Lan Cheng was a large number of Lan family experts. Among them, Lan Yun was shockingly among them. Beside Lan Cheng, there were 2 young men and women who attracted the attention of many people. They were the main characters of the day, Lan Xia and Xianyuan Yi, 2 of the 9 Ju. Brother Lan, congratulations. Congratulations to the Lan family for getting a son-in-law. The Yin clan's celestial Varch and the others stood up to congratulate him. Many thanks. Everyone please take a seat. Lan Cheng waved his hand. Today Lan Xia, the Lan family's prodigy, is married to Xianyuan Yi. Everyone, please don't stand on ceremony and enjoy your meal, Lan Cheng said with a smile. Immediately after, countless people flew out and served wine and food on all the tables. After that, it was time for the grand wedding. The crowd waited patiently. They all knew that the main event was only after the ceremony. Not long after, the ceremony was over. Lan Cheng stood up, faced everyone, and said, "This time, I would like to thank everyone for coming, especially the young geniuses. Since most of them are here, why don't we take this opportunity to spar, and let us old guys see the glory of the young generation?" That's good. After the battle more than 10 years ago, the geniuses rarely fought with each other. They were all cultivating. Today is a good time to see the results of their cultivation. Today is the golden age, and the prodigies have gathered. Now there are even more prodigies from the primordial realm. The stars are truly dazzling. Many people nodded and revealed looks of anticipation. The young heaven's favorites were also sizing each other up. Faint battle intent was spreading out. The gray-robed young man was the one who had followed Heavenly Emperor Kong Yin to the primordial realm. Furthermore, He had also cultivated the primordial cultivation system. Back then, the gray-robed youth had challenged Bao De Aoku and the ancient devil by himself and had easily defeated them. Bao De had always been brooding over this. Now that he had cultivated for many years and his strength had increased greatly, he naturally wanted to challenge the other party and regain his face. Buzz! The gray-robed young man rushed up the fighting ring. This time, I will defeat you alone. Bao De's eyes were filled with ferocity. He was like a giant beast with a terrifying aura. Make your move. The gray-robed young man spoke, and a powerful aura burst out from his body. Boom! The two of them moved at the same time, and they collided fiercely. A deafening boom erupted in the fighting ring, and the two figures were forced to retreat. The first move was a tie. Again, the two of them clashed again. Many people were watching with great interest. Even some of the Great Emperor Realm and Heavenly Emperor Realm powerhouses were watching seriously. That was because the two of them cultivated the immemorial system. Bao De, an immemorial body cultivator. The gray-robed young man, primordial martial arts. The two of them fought the strong head-on and exchanged dozens of moves in the blink of an eye. Over the years, Bao De had become much stronger than before. He was actually able to fight with the gray-robed youth, and it was difficult to determine the victor in a short time. One had to know that the gray-robed young man had easily defeated them back then. This reminded Lu Ming of Celestial Emperor Kong Yin's words. Some of the primordial realm's top prodigies were as talented as the heaven realm's prodigies. It was just that they had limited resources, so their cultivation levels were weaker. That was why their combat strength was far inferior to the heaven realm's prodigies. But now, the primordial realm's prodigies had received the heaven realm's resources, and their cultivation levels had quickly caught up. Now they could truly fight against the heaven realm's prodigies. This brat He is not bad. An old Archean body cultivator next to Lu Ming said with an interested expression. He's indeed not bad. The physical cultivation technique he practices isn't very brilliant, but he has such achievements. He's indeed a peerless talent in physical cultivation. If he's properly trained, his achievements will be limitless. Another old man said. It was obvious that the elders had a strong interest in brutal virtue. Roar. On the fighting ring, Bao De roared like a mad beast. His attacks were crazy. Towards the end, he even ignored his own defense and attacked crazily, adopting a fighting style where both sides would suffer. This made the gray-robed young man's face turn serious. In the end, he exchanged a few moves with Bao De in a row, and then floated backward, out of the fighting ring. Chapter 23:14. The Battle for the Most Powerful Void Emperor. Chapter 23:14. The Battle for the Most Powerful Void Emperor. Next, Ancient Devil made his move. He also defeated an opponent. This made some of the Heaven Realm's elites' faces turn ugly. Buzz! Another figure rushed up the fighting ring. Yuan Xian. Many people's gazes moved, especially those who knew the inside story. In the primordial realm, Yuan Xian was the top genius, ranked third. Over the years, as the primordial realm's prodigies continued to grow, their influence in the heaven realm also grew. Lu Ming had become a saint emperor with many laws. This was unprecedented and shook the heaven realm. As for Tianming, Bubbles, and the others, their strength increased rapidly, and their fame grew among the younger generation in the heaven realm. Naturally, there were more people who went to understand the geniuses of the primordial realm. The battle results of the Ten Lands battle back then were also exposed, and many people knew about it. Yuan Xian was ranked third in the primordial realm back then, second only to Lu Ming and Tianming. His talent was absolutely shocking, and even in the heaven realm, he was the top. Some people even thought that he might be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Ninju in the future. Who was he going to challenge now? Yuan Xin's eyes fell on Tianming. Tianming, come out and fight. Yuan Xin's voice rang out. Many people were surprised. Many people thought that Yuan Xian would also challenge the heaven realm's proud sons of heaven. They didn't expect that he would challenge Tianming. That year, in the Battle of the Ten Lands of the Yuan continent, Yuan Xian was defeated by Tianming. He must want to challenge and defeat him. Indeed, many people nodded. Tianming, dressed in white, was elegant and handsome, attracting the attention of many young women. He stood up, took a step forward, and landed on the fighting ring. Yuan Xin, you weren't my match back then, and now, you're even less of a match for me. Tianming said indifferently. He was full of confidence in himself. Don't be too full of yourself. Today, I will defeat you and prove that I'm stronger than you. It's a pity that Lu Ming is dead. Otherwise, I would also defeat him, and prove to everyone who is the number one in the primordial realm. Yuan Xian said, her eyes shining with a strong desire to fight. His ambition was higher than the sky, but he could only get third place in the Battle of the Ten Lands back then. He was unwilling to give up, and he wanted to take back his throne as the number one in the primordial realm. Make your move, Tianming said indifferently. His face was calm and indifferent, as if he didn't take Yuan Xin's words to heart. Boom! Yuan Xian burst out with a powerful aura. It was much stronger than when he fought Lu Ming in Yaoguang Ancient City. There were 4 different types of laws on his body, and they rushed toward Tianming. With the chaos laws as the leader, the 4 different types of laws formed a terrifying superpower. Boom! Yuan Xian threw a punch, and mountains of chaos pressed down on Tianming. A dazzling white light spread out from Tianming's body. He pointed out a finger, and a bright light burst out, blasting toward those mountains. Boom! 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 The mountain created by Tianming fell apart and exploded. Defeat! Then, Tianming suddenly took a step forward and pressed down with his finger. Boom! A terrifying pressure pressed down on Yuan Xian. At the same time, a bright light spread toward Yuan Xian like a stormy sea. This was also a terrifying divine ability. With the laws of fate as the main source, and the addition of other laws, the power was astonishing. Die! Yuan Xian roared as he unleashed all his strength and attacked madly. However, his attacks were constantly being shattered and disintegrated by the light emitted by the heaven's will finger. In the end, those rays of light hit Yuan Xian. After that, the giant tower formed by Oyu Yabing started to shake crazily. It emitted a cracking sound, and was covered in cracks. Oyabing's expression changed. His hands quickly formed a seal, and a vase appeared. From the mouth of the vase, a large amount of sword qi was spat out. Then, another saber appeared and slashed toward Tianming. The River of Fate. At this moment, Tianming used his ultimate move, the River of Fate. He stood in the River of Fate, as if he was immortal, and could control fate. Tianming's move was much stronger than before. Back then, it had only been a single law of fate, but now, other laws had been added in, and its power was astonishing. Boom! 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 Tianming and Oyu Yabing were engaged in an intense battle. The two of them each used their own techniques and ultimate moves, constantly clashing. On the fighting stage, all kinds of weapons flew around, and all kinds of light burst forth. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.